This episode of the podcast is brought to you by the UK's #1 coral selling website, coral-auctions.co.uk and reefdog.etsy.com for all your 3D printed aquarium accessory needs. What's up, YouTube? Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Prestige Reef Dork Show. Today we have a very special guest, Amy from Amy Does Some Stuff. Well, not from, but Amy, aka Amy Does Some Stuff. Amy, how are you?
Hello, I'm good, thank you. How are you both?
All good. Ryan, how are you? You deserve a nod as well.
I don't get as an enthusiastic introduction this week.
Everybody knows you. You're not important.
Yeah.
So.
Good to know.
What I should have said is we have TikTok superstar.
True.
Stuff.
#1 TikTok fish superstar is what is the official title, isn't it?
I don't know. Is that what you're saying?
That's what the title should have been.
I'm just thinking, actually. I wonder if you've got more followers than Coralfish 12G. I bet you.
Oh,
I bet it's close.
George.
Yeah, George Melback. Yeah.
I have no idea.
I think you're probably either #1 or #2 in Reef.
I think he's probably got more than
1.97. Yeah, but still, anyway.
Gives you something to aim for, you know.
Yeah.
Gives you something to strive for.
Biggest female.
Yeah, well, probably by miles.
By a long way, probably.
Yeah.
So when you were on, we had you on like a year or so ago, didn't we? So
Yeah.
I had chats about lots of weird fish. You had boxfish, you had mantis shrimp, you had all sorts. You had clingfish, was it? You had some.
Oh yeah, they were a nightmare. I'd never get them again. They they just wouldn't stay alive. They tried everything and they didn't thrive in a marine, like just in captivity. So
yeah,
I wouldn't get them again. But they were really cool. They were really little cool creatures while I had them. Yeah.
But you
That
like kind of go on.
I was gonna say that was one of my favorite live streams because I learned so much about stuff I didn't know existed. Because I always think when I'm at the wholesaler, there's lots and lots of things, but butterfly fish are a good example, but there's loads of weird stuff there. And I think to myself, who is buying these? And now, since I've met you, I now go there and go, Amy's buying these.
I love that.
Yeah,
I'm really lucky. So my local fish shop, I'm quite friendly with the guy that works there, and he will go to like TMC and everything, and he will just send me pictures and go, I've got this for you, and it'll just be this weird little creature that he's seen, and he knows my tanks, so he knows what I can put in and can't put in. So
you got one of those little crabs, I think, didn't you, recently, that has a coral as a shell? Is that?
Do you know what he's done this weekend?
Really?
Moved into so it was an antler crab, so he lives in like the staghorn coral. He's just moved out of it into a normal shell now.
Is he?
Oh, is he?
So it's just a normal hermit crab.
Well, I wondered what happened to the. So when I first started and I was an idiot, I once had this idea that what you could do is you could stick a coral to a snail or a hermit crab shell.
Hermit crab, shell.
Just out of interest, just to see what happened. And what I realized happened was the hermit crab just drags the coral through the torch corals, the frog spawn, and the coral just gets stung by everything.
Scrapes it up against the rock, and
So I thought to myself when I saw those, because they were at the wholesaler recently, I was like, how does this work? Like, how does that coral stay alive?
The one I got, the coral was already dead, so it was a dead bit of coral. So it didn't sting or anything like that, because obviously you don't want one of them walking around your tank stinging everything, do you? So the one that I got was dead, but obviously, they grow out of it.
Yeah.
Obviously going to go into whatever's available in the tank, which I had shells in there. So
I hadn't thought that at all. I just thought that it would just stay with it, but that's really
You'd
obvious.
So, wouldn't you? Yeah.
Well,
with it being an antler crab, you know.
Yeah.
So I paid over the odds for just a normal hermit crab.
And it's literally just a standard hermit crab, like, or just
so it does look different. It does look different. It's really cool, actually. It's kind of like a pale pinky white kind of color, and it's got one huge claw and one tiny little claw. So it does look cute, and that's how I knew it had gone into a different shell, because I saw this hermit crab and thought I didn't have a hermit crab that looked like that, and then I realised it had come from the staghorn. Yeah.
It's like, take my strong hand, take my strong hand.
Yeah. There we
I
go.
think
Yeah, it looks like that.
Alex has started typing away already, so you can find out what this
This
is.
is what Ryan said about last time, was that every 3 seconds I was like
Yeah.
going looking stuff up. Like, what the hell's that?
They're not very big, are they? Either they're like
No,
they're
tiny,
actually like
tiny
really
little
really
things.
tiny.
I was hoping that the one I got was fully grown, because then
Yeah.
obviously you get one that's fully grown, it's not going to move them, but obviously chance that it's not going to last very long then either.
True.
So.
I wanted to get a little update on, like, I know there's going to be a whole long list, but let's start with some of the more unusual things first that you currently have, because
Okay.
one of my most interesting parts of the last stream.
I don't know if I got the antler crab. I've got a new mantis now. I don't know if I've had any more like really weird and wonderful creatures, to be honest.
You have like a crab. Didn't you have one of those like shy face crabs or something they're called?
Oh, the pom-pom crabs.
No, it wasn't the pom-pom. They're like quite meaty, but they keep their...
Oh, yes, I did. The sponge, the ones that have the sponge on top of them.
Yes, yeah.
The ones that hold. Yeah, so I had him for a while. He was only little, bless him.
Yeah.
It wasn't the shy. I think it was called a sponge crab. It wasn't the shy face crab.
Okay.
It looked like that, but it was one of the ones that holds like, it holds like sponge or something on its back for protection, like to hide into and stuff. That's the one.
That
was a really, really cute. Yeah, it was a really cool, really cute little creature. He actually, after a while, and he got bigger, he actually started picking at my corals. Right. So he turned into a sump crab. And he's still in there somewhere. Yeah. I do occasionally put, I like him. Who's that?
Sponge decorator crab.
You can see what I mean by like who buys these things. I've never even seen that crab before.
I'll be on Instagram and they're like showing these weird and wonderful like crabs and creatures and everything else. And I'll just like tag the guy that works in the fish shop and be like, keep an eye, because I want one of these. I like the the little squat lobsters. You can get loads of different types of them. Yeah. I'd really like some little squat lobsters, I reckon.
They just disappear though. I've had a couple and you put them in and for like a day they're around and then you just never see them again.
Yeah, they just go and hide, don't they? But I love little squat. They're so stupid looking. But I never see them around where I am.
Most of your purchases, as you like, you found something on Instagram or whatever, and then you've gone to the fish shop and said, "Can you find this for me?" Mm-hmm. Or do you ever? Are they like? What's your worst impulse purchase? Is what I'm interested in. Have you had any that you go that you've just seen something and gone, "I have to have that because it's just unusual"?
Probably that sponge crab. I just went, I don't care how big he gets or anything like that, or what's he gonna do. He's coming home with me. And probably the clownfish as well. I saw them and thought, I've never seen them before. I want them. I had the urchin at the time that they live in and stuff like that. Yeah. But they just turned out to be.
They eat the urchin, don't they?
So they'll eat the little tubey feet and stuff like that, and they eat like copepods and things that will kind of like use the urchin as protection. So like copepods will swim around it and stuff like that. But yeah, they do that. But their diet, I think it's because their diet. That's the one I had right in the middle, the black one, the black one with the white stripe. Yeah, I had two of them, and I think it's the male has a longer snout and the female has a shorter one or something like that. They've got different snouts. That's how you can tell the difference. But they were really cool. They were so fun to watch as well. But they just didn't. They just didn't thrive. Do you know what I mean? So I've had them. I wouldn't get them again.
What made them fun to watch?
The way that they interacted with the urchin was really good. Like going in and out and weaving in and out. And
was it a long spine urchin, like the proper long spine?
Yeah, like the really long spiny urchin, which lives. He's in my sump now as well because I just got bored of prickling myself. Like I was getting like black prickles all the time every time I went in my tank.
Isn't there like poison or there's something in them, like a wasp?
No, they're not poison, but they're barbed, so they go in really easy, and you can't pull them out because of the way that the barbs face. So once they're in, like you're picking and you can see it's in there because it's black, so you'd like trying to like gouge it out. Whereas my other urchins, they're fine. Like I picked one up before. I moved him. One of my tanks has got a bit of an algae problem, and I want to know if an urchin will deal with it. So I was like, well, you're going on holiday. You can go in that tank, and I'll see if you'll sort it.
What I've started to realize, even just at the start of this, so everyone has rules with their tanks. So Alex won't get a fish, like he doesn't like tanks because they're aggressive, and some people go, oh, I can't have coral eaters because they want to keep coral. There doesn't seem to be any rules.
No, I think my rules are as long as they can live in my tank at their full size.
Yeah.
And even then, if I saw something I really, really wanted, I'd just end up getting a bigger tank. Do you know what I mean? I'd just factor in the fact that maybe in a year or so I'd get a bigger tank, which I'd do. That they get along with the fish. I don't want any fighting. Like in my tank at the moment, I've got no kind of aggression. They all live in harmony. So I wouldn't get. I'm on the same thing as Alex. Like I don't want tangs, but mine's because they're just so finicky and they can get illnesses easily and stuff like that. But I did recently get my boyfriend convinced me to get a hippo tang.
Oh, so you want a fish that doesn't have illness, and that's the one you got.
Yeah, I know, but it was really small. It's doing really well, really well. It's grown really well. Although I did see it before. I've got 2 filefish. Yeah. I've got nettle and thistle, and the aptasia eating filefish. Yeah. And they get on excellent. Because there was a worry that they might argue, but
both aptasia eating filefish.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're like they're 2 peas in a pod. They follow each other around. They love each other. And I did see my hippo kind of like lunge at it a little bit, which is funny because the hippo's smaller than the filefish that I've got. So I'm going to keep an eye out for that, because if that starts, especially because I've got a box fish, I don't want anything picking on other fish, because someone starts picking on that box fish, and then it could be game over if it gets too stressed and releases all of its whatever and stuff like that. So that's my main thing, is that I know as long as it's going to be happy in my tank and it's not going to bully anything else, get in my basket.
I hate it. It stresses me out watching fish fight.
Yeah, I spotted it straight away because I saw like a zoom across the tank, and I was like, oh, I was like, you'll be out soon if you do that. You'll be going back to the
I have a little bit more tolerance for aggression than Alex does, and I feel that. Generally speaking, after a relatively tough week for the new fish, they all settle down. Like I had it. There was at one point, relatively recently, I had a clownfish which hated a blenny, did not want it anywhere near, and that's now fine. The Moorish idol was not happy with basically everything when it was went, and that's. Have you had a Moorish idol?
No, I would love a Moorish idol.
Oh. Do you ever want to keep coral? Because my one eats everything.
This is the thing. Like, there's a reason that I haven't had a Moorish idol. You know what I mean? I've talked myself out of it, but I would love one.
No, don't get one. They are mean and they eat coral.
Well, my problem is I've got a lot of nice corals and stuff like that. But if I see one picking at it, I'm like, that's fine. You eat it. You do what you got to do.
Viking Reef just posted a video today with a coral with a care guide on Moorish idols. Yeah, he said that they don't eat corals as long as you feed them properly. Feed them.
That is not true. That is simply not true. Like there is this myth that either I have the worst Moorish idol you can get, because like I thought I had this theory, and I was like, I'm going to feed it like 12 times a day or whatever. It makes no difference.
I honestly though, I think it depends on the fish. Like with the Moorish idol, you've probably just got an arsehole of a Moorish idol. Do you know what I mean?
I also think that it depends what coral you put with it, because it is with coral at the moment. So Viking Reef, I don't know what he's keeping his with, but if he's keeping it with Pasillipora, it's fine. It doesn't eat it. If it keeps it with like favias,
see, that was the thing that like he in the tank that it was in, he had there was a bubble tip anemone, and there were torch corals, a clam. The clam, I reckon, is at risk. But he didn't have. He didn't have things like the ones that we got, like maize corals, favias, and that. Yeah, that they went mental for. He didn't have any of that.
Yeah,
so it might just be certain types.
That's the problem I find with. And look, he's great, so I'm not saying anything negative. I just think sometimes people look for advice on reef safe fish, And reef safe is a terrible term because people either go yes or no. You know that your regal tang is more likely to go for eating coral than other tangs. So lots and lots of people get a regal tang thinking it's totally fine, and then find out 6 months later it's eating their corals. But they are considered reef safe. So it's with certain corals they're fine. So there'll be plenty of people that watch his video go, "Oh, it's totally fine to have one and they're reef safe," just like I did with Elliot's video. One day I'll meet Elliot and I'm like, "I got a fish for you, Elliot."
Take it. It's in a bag.
Yeah. No, because it gave me the confidence that it would be fine, and it just wasn't. And it really is like the worst fish, one of the worst fish I've ever had.
The only thing is, so the biggest thing with them before was that they were difficult to keep and they all die.
Yeah,
and there was a study that someone, the Viking Reef referenced it in his video, and I've referenced it before as well. Someone studied Moorish idols for like a year, and they studied like 200 in captivity, and they all died. And I feel like that isn't the case anymore.
No, I agree, because when I got that fish, my fear was that I would keep it for 2 weeks and then it would die, and then I'd have to tell everyone on YouTube that I just killed this fish, and because it's awful when you do that, especially like if you get like a signature fish that everyone else wants, that not just everyone else wants, but everyone goes, "That's a bad idea. You probably shouldn't have done that." Yeah, because you know it's a bad idea, but I am human, the same as everyone else.
Yeah.
But what I found is it's totally fine in terms of like it eats loads. It's the only issue I've had is that it at first, it's not anymore, but at first it was mildly aggressive towards some of the tanks, and it just cannot get enough coral. It like everything I put in with it has a taste for it. Although
I do think it very much depends on the fish. Like boxfish, cowfish, they're meant to eat corals. They're technically not reef safe. I've never seen, like, even my cowfish that was like huge, never once picked on any corals. Same as my touch wood, same as my cowfish, my boxfish now that I've got, never interested. My filefish that I got, my original one, because I did have aptasia, cleared them out and then started eating like magonies and anything that looked like a little flower. Anything that looked like aptasia, it was like, well, I'm going to eat that. But so I just don't keep them in the tank, you know?
Isn't it funny that they're like that? Because that's a very regular thing that people hear with those, where they're like, "I will only eat this one thing, and as soon as that one thing is not there, I will eat everything."
Everything else, everything.
My aptasia eating filefish, I've had couple. One of them ate to my Duncan coral and my acans. And
Duncan as well. I had to move mine out of my from into another tank.
I ended up catching him using the acan as bait. And then but the other one didn't touch any of that. And the only corals that he was touching, the one I can remember was my Monty, just branching Digimonty. And he was just kept pecking at it. So it was always, all the polyps were.
Do you think that's because it looked like when the bits came out, it looked like tiny little aptasias, maybe?
I think he just knew that I liked that coral, and he was like, right, because I could see him looking at me. He's giving me the side eye whilst he's doing it.
One eye on you, one eye on the coral.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you bastard. So, but they're just it's a wild animal at the end of the day, isn't it? So
exactly. I think you've just got to get lucky with what you've got. You know, I've had fish that I've had, really cool. And I've had to take back to the fish shop because they're not meant to be aggressive and they've turned out to be aggressive, or they're not meant to do this and they end up doing it. You know, I think it is just luck of the draw, really.
That's what I wanted to ask. What's the worst thing that you have bought other than the clingfish that you would, because they didn't do well, which is why, but like, what's the thing that you regret buying?
That I regret buying? It's not that right. So I've got a striped pipefish, you know, the orange striped candy pipefish.
Yeah,
I've got one of them. Now it came as a pair, and you know, like when you just buy a fish and have it for a couple of weeks and one of them will just die and you don't really know why, it just hasn't thrived well in your tank. Well, one of them, and they're harder to tell, like with the smaller ones, with the blue striped ones, they've got the bumps on the nose if they're male, so you can tell them. Whereas these ones are harder to tell if they're male or female. So I've got one of them. Now them, I love them. I've got a pair of each of them in my tank. They are excellent little creatures. Excellent little creatures they are. I love them. So I got two of them. One of them died. One of them, and I got these a couple of years ago. One of them has still got And over time, I have tried, when I see another one in a pet shop that's not paired up, when it's just on its own, I think, oh, well, I'll get that and see how I get on with it.
Yeah.
It's killed every single pet partner that I've put in there with it.
Okay. So
it miters and so that's on its own. And like people will say, oh, they're meant to be paired up, you know, because they're like seahorses. They do better. I'm like, not this one. This one wants to be on its own.
So that one that wasn't what I was expecting. I never, in all the things you've had, that would expect you to go, yeah, it's a pipefish.
But I love it. I love it. Like, and I know that it's fine on its own, so it's not like I regret getting it for that reason.
Yeah.
It's just that it's so weird. Like, why won't you pair up?
Yeah.
Like,
I
wanted
one of those,
to have a friend.
I would love a pair of candy pipefish. I did have a pair of the blues, I can never remember if it's a blue stripe or an orange stripe pipefish, but the small ones with a stripe on it that is blue.
Yeah, I call them blue stripe just because that's the more but they are blue and orange stripes.
I can never remember. Anyway, I had a pair of them in my water box Frag 55.2, so 2 foot by 2 foot by 16 inches tall, something like that. And they were great at first and for a couple of months, but then suddenly one of them turned on the other one and was just bullying it constantly, to the point that it got weak, and I found it stuck to a power head one day. Although it was an AI.
That's what my candy does. It just mithers and mithers and mithers until it dies. So I'm like, well, you can live on your own then. You're fine.
I wondered I didn't know I didn't know you could tell the difference. So I wonder if they were both males or whatever, and they just got.
I've tried it a few times, and it would be weird that I would have got the same kind of species, like every single. I think. I've tried it. I got my first one. I got my pair together. One of them died, and then I think I tried twice more. And then I was like, right, I tried once, thought, oh, maybe it was just a fluke. Tried it second time, it did it again. I was like, well, you've made your bed now. I'm not getting
it's not tangs you have to watch out for. It's pipefish.
Pipefish, yeah, pipefish on pipefish crime. But I love my little blue ones. Like I said, I've got one on each one, but. The ones in the smaller tank, so not in the one that I've got my boxfish and my other candy pipefish in. I've got them some in another one. The male will get to the point where it is holding on to eggs, and then the female will just eat the eggs out of his pouch. She hunts him. She hunts him and pecks them all out until they're gone. And she's done that.
Babies are delicious, so maybe that's why. Yeah.
Juicy eggs, yeah. So that I've never got to the point where I've had like baby pipefish, and I have tried once to put him in a little male in a breeder box because their belly starts to like open up and you can see that they're in there, and the more they go on, the more it kind of like widens. Put him in there, but I think it distressed the pair that they weren't together, because obviously I split them up, and they were spending a lot of time against the netting and stuff. So in the end, I was like, fine, go in there.
Is that a common thing to happen? With
no idea
where the female does that, or is that?
I don't know if it's like like sometimes it might be like with clownfish, it might be a stress response that they eat their babies and stuff like that. I don't know, but she's done it every single time, and it happens every couple of months. Because I'd love to do videos on it, do you know what I mean, and be like, my pipefish. But I know it's going to end that way, so I'm not going to do a video on it, because I know and then I'm going to have to do a video going, oh, Mum ate them.
Yeah.
That would be an interesting title.
Yeah.
Like a screenshot.
Mum ate the babies.
How many tanks do you have now? Because you've just mentioned 3, and I don't think you've mentioned the mantis shrimp in those 3. So
no, so I've got 3. So in my living room, I've got my big one, which has got my box fish and my tang and kind of like my main ones in there. I then got another smaller tank that was kind of like when me and my partner moved in. Yeah, that's my main tank. When me and my partner moved in, I kind of let him take over that tank a little bit, because he had a tank and through it like a breakup and stuff like that, he broke it down completely and sold it on. So when we moved here, there wasn't really room for him to have his own tank. So I said, well, you can do what you want, as long as I can still film in it, put the corals that you want in it, do whatever you want and stuff. And he got a few wrasse. So he's got some wrasse because they're his faves. Yeah. So he's got a few wrasse in there that they've shown themselves on my channel, but I haven't really like focused on them and stuff like that. So that's the one that I've got the algae problem in at the moment, that I've moved one of my urchins into. And that one is kind of that I put the weirder creatures in, because I've got a scarlet hawk, and then I've got, what's the hawkfish? I call it picnic because it looks like a picnic blanket. It's like red and white.
Long nose hawkfish.
Yeah,
That's the one.
yeah.
So I've got them in my bigger tank. So like my staghorn, my I've got one of them. Oh, what they called? Is it a Pendleton shrimp?
Oh, I know what you're talking
Pedersens.
about. Pedersens, the clear ones.
Yeah, love them guys. They're so I've got them in there.
They're like see-through. You can hardly see them.
I know. Well, I've had two. So that one with the black background.
Yeah.
That's the one I've got at the moment. The purpley one. Yeah. And it's so funny. I come up and when you put food in, it starts like twitching its like little antennae.
They're also tiny, aren't they, compared to normal?
Yeah, really tiny. And that's my second one. I had another one that was more reddish instead of purple. I called that John Cena because you couldn't see it.
Alex doesn't look impressed by that.
No, I love them. I tried one because
but
it just disappeared. It was in my Fluval Evo, and it ended up in the filter section because it's tiny and it wasn't strong enough. And then I rescued it, put it back in the tank, and I don't know if it got eaten or ended up back in the filter section or whatever. But it wasn't meant to be. But they're really cool. I love them.
Yeah, really cool little creatures like my pom-pom crabs, my decorator crab that I call Velcro. Stick stuff to him. He's in there. So anything that I feel the hawkfish might bother goes into my other tank. Although he's in there with two cleaner shrimp and he doesn't bother them whatsoever, and that's meant to be a thing, is that they can bother cleaner shrimp. But
mine's all right with the cleaner shrimp.
So I've never had that. The only time I had it was when my tuskfish attacked and ate the cleaner shrimp, and the hawkfish, the scarlet hawkfish, was there like going, I'll have a bit. Apart from that, never. I've just realized though we've got there are two fish that we've both got, one of each. We've all got a yellow boxfish and we've all got a scarlet hawkfish.
There you go.
There might be another one that pops up.
Probably.
What's yours called? Your scarlet hawkfish. What are they called?
Mine's called Gary.
Yours is called Gary. Right?
Yeah.
I don't think mine has a name. My missus might have named him. I can't remember. Tony Hawk. Oh yeah, Tony Hawk. Actually, yes. I want the scarlet. The other one, the stripy, the hatch one, long nose hawkfish is called Tony. Yeah.
My other fish have cooler names, so why not? Some of them. Rachel names
the Blenny.
So I have 007. So yeah, because he looks like he's wearing a little tuxedo.
That's incredible.
That's a Pictus Blenny. Finn Diesel is the multi-bar. So there's some of them.
I love a silly name.
But Gary is just, I'm not sure why he got called Gary in the end. I think I named that one.
I like it though when I've got like stupid names and then I just go, oh, here's Tony. Like it just doesn't.
Yeah, Alex is like, I don't name my fish. I
don't tend to name fish, but I love animals with human names. Like my cat is called Fred. And I love
that's fantastic.
Just a bland name like Keith the dog or whatever.
I used to have a dog called Frank.
Exactly. That's it. I'm all over that.
So going back to what we were talking about, what's next on your list? Because like you said that you give a list, and I thought about you the other day actually, because they had what was it, flamboyant cuttlefish, and I'm like,
oh my god, yes.
I know one person that will get these.
I've got a friend that actually hatched. I don't think they were flamboyant. I think they were just the standard cuttlefish. But he hatched some, and they're so fat, and they walk around like they're on stilettos.
Yeah,
they're incredible.
They don't look like that all the time, though.
That's just when they're showing off. That's when they're doing like their little show off kind of scene. I would love some of them, but my local fish shop, the guy that works there, he had some eggs actually. He had some eggs that he'd got from TMC, so they'd obviously got a good amount in. But get the video up that goes, walk a mile in these Louboutins, and it's like stepping along.
I've only just realised that Instagram is live whilst I've been typing. But anyway, these are I've never seen them walk like that actually, to be fair. That was cool.
We couldn't hear anything while it was live.
No. Fine,
no.
Anyway, sorry.
So I would
when I saw them, I was like, because they imported they do this sometimes where they will someone specifically wants something, so they will bring a mantis shrimp in, for example, and on that same order they might add an extra mantis shrimp to sell to someone, to a
Yeah.
shop somewhere. And I think that's what happened with the cuttlefish. And then they said to me, "Oh, do you want them?" I was like, "I don't know anyone that will buy these." And I was like, "Actually, I know one person that will buy these." But then I thought, obviously, getting them, we're quite far apart, aren't we? So it would be difficult, and you don't have a tank for them.
Like this, I was saying, I don't know if you were there right before. So a moving house before the end of the year. So this house that we're in at the moment is rented, and the landlord, she wants to sell it. So there was a chance that we were looking at just buying this house and staying in here, but it is quite small, and we've thought like, well, we do want a bit more space. So when we move, one of my first things that I'm going to do is get a bigger tank for my mantis shrimp. I've been saying for ages that I want to do it. I want to get more. Not that they don't need the space, you know what I mean? As long as they've got a nice cave with enough room, they don't really stray away from that. They don't need the swimming space. Do you know what I mean? As long as they've got their cave, they're happy. But I would love to be able to get a longer tank that I can make his cave a bit more intricate and
what tank's
a bit
he in
longer.
at the moment?
Pardon?
What tank's he in at the moment?
He is in an Aqua 1, and I think it's 120 litres.
Oh, okay, that's quite big. So how big are you talking? Or just longer? Like what?
I want a longer one. I don't want to go
like.
to be honest, I'd get long and shallow because they don't need the swimming space. It's just the cave space, and I'd love to just get a really long cave with like different openings.
Alex is currently thinking of the water box.
No, I'm currently thinking of the Ultim Nature Systems, the UNS 90 Peninsula.
I don't think I've seen that one.
Loads of people have got them recently because it was at Aqua, and they're really cool. They're like they're 3 feet long, but I think they're like a foot tall and
that's
a foot wide.
Exactly something like that I could put a cave really nice system in for him. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Something long but not tall. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Does he actually do so? One of my questions I wanted to ask you is like which of your animals has the most personality? I'm assuming it probably is the mantis shrimp.
Yeah. Well, if it wasn't him, it would be my boxfish.
I was going to say exactly the same.
Is very like food driven.
Yeah.
And like I've had my hand in the tank before, and he's trying to like bite me and stuff like that.
Oh really? Does he nibble you?
Oh yeah, and it hurts when they get you. Once they get bigger and they get a good grasp on you, it's like they suck. So they make like a suction on it, and then their little razor teeth come out. Really hurts.
Yeah. Our friend Jamie has a cowfish, which is literally like a foot long. It's massive.
Wow.
And his cowfish bites as well. Yeah. And that's the sort of thing that when your arm's in the tank and all of a sudden you get bitten by something, it's like, oh. So
yeah, and it hurts. It really hurts. I used to be quite mean when I had Pickles, my big cowfish. Like people would come over and they'd be like, oh my gosh, like they'd be amazed at him because he's this really weird looking creature. And I'd be like, oh, put your finger in, he'll give you a kiss.
So, that's
They and the amount of people that would go, oh, and do it. Yeah. I'm like, you idiots, you deserve that.
So the man, because I have thought many times, I actually wanted to use some of this time to talk to you about mantis shrimp. But so the tank itself, though, I assume doesn't look like much. I know I've seen his tank, as in not a lot goes on during if he's not moving, it's just empty.
No, a lot of the time. So the way it is, like I've got a lot of macroalgae in mine. I went for like the natural kind of look, and it's got a bit of Kenya tree in there. You can put corals in there with the risk that he might pick them up or punch them and stuff like that. That's always going to be a risk. But
doesn't like aggression pick something that will punch a coral. So
I've got the cave, 2 entrances, and the amount of times I'll look through one and he'll be sticking his head out the other one, and I could just see his bum. There it is there. Yeah. That was when I was getting ready to clean it because there was loads. I cleaned it out today, actually. I'm constantly pulling algae out of that tank, like the macroalgae.
Does he ever actually like accidentally punches you or whatever?
He had, they have done. Ludo has got a harder punch than he has.
Okay. Doesn't like break your fingers or whatever.
I always say like they know that I am not a huge threat. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Their punches are just going to be like a getaway. Like when a cat will swipe at you to say go away from you and scratch you. I always liken it to that. And there have been times where I've been punched, and it feels like if I was to get an elastic band and clack it at your finger, that's what it feels like. It's more of a shock than pain.
Yeah.
Because people always say like, oh, you know, you're not scared because you've got him in a glass tank, and I say for him to punch so hard that it would break that glass with the pressure, with the water on one side and the, you know, air on the other, the atmosphere on the other, for him to punch so hard, he would have to be in like survival mode.
Yeah.
He would have to feel that he needs to survive, you know, something's getting him and he punches the glass by mistake. And also the fact that them punching as hard as they possibly can, that's going to hurt them too. Do you know, it uses a lot of energy. It could damage them, you know, that it's very rare that they do it. So I always say, like, obviously, don't go and just put your hand in a mantis shrimp tank because you are going to get punched. But I spend so much time, like, just with my hand in the tank. Like, I don't film it, but like I do a lot of, like, I call it enrichment. I do a lot of time with my mantis shrimp because they are such clever creatures. And I will pass him, give him things, and I'll get some up on my laptop for him to watch, you know, like other shrimp and Netflix, I do some crazy stuff. And
we're starting to realize that.
you know, they know who I am.
Yeah.
The shrimp, you know, they will recognize me, and they know I bring food, and they know that I'm not a huge threat. So I do, like, I wouldn't just go up. Say if I went to someone's house and they said, oh, I've just got a mantis shrimp, do what you do with yours. I wouldn't, I'm not going to go put my hand in random mantis shrimp tanks. And it took a lot for me to put my hand into my new mantis shrimp's tank. Do you know what I mean? Like, to the point where I felt like he could punch me if he really tried, if he got to me.
Yeah.
You know, I would give him a very wide berth. But yeah, people think I'm nuts. But Bucks, my new mantis shrimp, likes to be stroked. So that's weird.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is it about? What makes you think that it has a personality? This, like, I'm genuinely interested. So I love fish that have personalities, and I wonder if we are assigning a personality to something. Like the hawkfish appears to have a personality because it's like grumpy, isn't it? And it's just,
the scarlet always looks like it's in a state of like.
But does it just want food?
Like, but is it got flashbacks to the war, like?
And I think that angelfish are far more intelligent than other fish. And I think copperbands are some of the dumbest fish you can get. So I just wonder, that is just a fact. So I just wonder if, like, what is it that makes you say, firstly, that he has a great personality, and secondly, that he's intelligent? Or is it just that you can interact with him more than that you can interact with the other things that you have?
I think that one, maybe it is because, like, I've got more of a chance to interact with him than fish. Do you know what I mean? Fish will scatter. They won't be interested in you. Like, excluding the boxfish who just wants to eat your fingers all the time. You do get that. But then I liken it more. It's like a puppy. They're like puppies more than they are like fish. I feel that they want interaction. Like, I'll walk into the kitchen and he will be watching me, and I know he's watching me because I can see his eyes following. And there are days where I will go to him and I will know that he is maybe having a grumpy day because I can just see it in him and the way that he acts and reacts to me. And
I feel that way about Alex. Yeah, I can tell when he's having a grumpy
day. You come online and go, well, what's he looking like today?
Punch him when I knock on his door.
Like at the moment, mine, I'm waiting for mine to shed. He's getting ready to molt.
Okay. How do you know that?
Because this was like a week, maybe 2 weeks ago. I tried to feed him and he didn't take the food, which is very unlike him. He is very, like, I put food in there and he's up and he's grabbing it and he's pulling it in.
Yeah.
So I had, you know, the food and they push it away. I could feel him going like that and pushing it as if to say, go away.
Yeah.
And then he punched the shell as if to say, right, I've had enough of this now. This is your final warning. I tried that for a couple of days and he wouldn't take any kind of food off me. Even I gave him a little bit because I had to do a video explaining this, actually. So everyone was like, I'm holding the food.
Yeah.
I know by his reaction, because I'm seeing him every day and I'm feeding him every other 2-3 days. I know when he wants food and when he doesn't want food. Whereas when I'm doing a video, they're like, well, why didn't you just leave the food in there for him?
Yeah.
And I have to explain, like, one, it's going to make the water horrible if I leave it overnight and this mussel starts decomposing. And there is a very good chance that he's going to take it into his cave and bury it for later. And then I can't get to it. I can't get in his cave. And I don't want to be going into his cave or putting tongs in to try and get stuff out, because that's his area. I want him to think that once he's in there, he's safe. Nothing's going to get him. So like I had to do a video explaining that I do have reasons. There's method to my madness. Do you know what I mean? There's a reason why I didn't leave that food in there, or I didn't just give it to him and hope for the best. But then yesterday, was it yesterday? No, it wasn't. It was Friday. So the last week he's been punching a lot of the rocks that I've put in there for him, because they cover up their cave a little bit to, you know, for protection. Now, Ludo never did that fully. He would just put a little bit. I don't know whether that's just because he was lazy or because he felt safe, or, you know, whatever. But Bucks had started to do that, and he'd started to punch all these rocks to make them smaller. And he punched. So I don't know if you've seen it, but I did like a series with Ludo of trying to find his favorite color. And I
actually think I might have seen.
I
have seen. I've seen quite a few of the videos of feeding them and everything. But I can't remember if I've seen that one specifically.
So I had loads of. They were like dice, just dice.
Wasn't this one, was it?
There, yeah. Well, that's one of them. Yeah. So I would put different colors in, see whichever one he would react with the most. That would kind of be then put into a drawer, and then I put more in, and then I'd like switch and change them around. Ludo's favorite color, well, the one that he was most drawn to was yellow, whereas Bucks's is red. Bucks, and he's still got his red one in there. And it was on Friday night that he was punching, and I could tell that the punches that he was doing, he wasn't punching rock, he was punching something else. So I went in and he was punching his little red dice, and I didn't know whether that was him trying to think, well, maybe there's food in there. So I was a bit.
That would be an interesting thing to try to do. You know how, like, with octopus and stuff, they put stuff. I know I'm not suggesting. They don't have the dexterity, but it'd be interesting to see if they could open things or something like that.
Had before I got my 3D printer, I had my friend print off some mini Kongs, you know, like the red dot things that I would put stuff in, and he'd punch that open and get the food out. And instead of saying Kong on it, he'd put Ludo on it. That was really cool. So I ended up on Friday, I thought, well, I hadn't tried him I think I tried him last on that weekend, and then I was like, right, I'm going to leave him now, because obviously he doesn't want food. I'm wasting all this food. I'm going in there. I don't want to pester him constantly if he is trying to shed. So I'm just going to leave him. But then on Friday night, I thought, just try him. And he took the muscle straight off me. He was like, yeah, mine, ate it all. And I was like, great. So what does this mean? Like, did you stall your shed? Because they apparently can do that. Like if they start it and then think, oh, actually,
I can grab
don't have
it more.
the stores for this, or I'm not prepared for this. They will, you know, stall it and eat. So I don't know whether it got to that point, or he didn't want the food. I don't know, but there's definitely something going on with him. His colours have dulled a little bit as well, which is a sign for getting ready to shed. So he's giving me all these signs that it's happening. It just really confused me when he ate on Friday.
Do you think that they are? So I don't think they're particularly difficult to keep, are they?
No,
I mean,
no.
they come in on live rock, so they can't be that hard to keep.
Yeah, no, they're really, really easy. No more difficult than, you know, a tropical fish tank. I don't think guppies and stuff like that. The
question I actually wanted to ask was, I don't believe they're a pet suitable for everyone. That's it. And the second thing I wanted to ask is, I think the reason that you love that you love him so much is because you can interact with him. I think
100%.
If you didn't interact with him, would he be a boring pet for people? Because if I got one, I've never considered the concept of printing off 3D dice to play Dungeons and Dragons with it. So if I got one and I just put it in a tank, I would go, that's probably a boring pet for me. Would you agree?
Well, some people, people that it just so happens that me and the way I am with creatures, I wanted to interact. There's probably people out there that do have mantis shrimp that don't, that leave it solitary, that don't do kind of anything with it. And I don't think it wouldn't be a boring pet in that sense, because you can put feeder shrimp in there and watch them hunt. You get to, you put food in, you get to watch them punch it and open it up and the colours, the eyes.
Yeah.
I don't think it's but I think it's probably
I'm not-
more fun than just watching a fish whiz around. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
no, I'm sort of meant it in it's just so people can get the idea that if you have one of these, to get the most out of it, you have to actually interact with it.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be something where you just put in there and you just leave it, and then you're like,
I
oh, this
mean,
is the best thing ever.
You can do that, but I feel that I feel like it's the same with, like, maybe not as much, but like octopuses. Octopuses need a lot of stimulation when they're in captivity, and
Yeah.
I do feel that mantis shrimp are on that level as well. They're not just a creature that you put in a tank and you watch. I think they really benefit, and I think I've kind of shown that from like the way I am with mine, that they really benefit from interaction and enrichment and seeing different things and all of this kind of stuff. I really do think that I don't think it's a bad thing for them. Do you know what I mean? I know
No.
Some people will be like, let me think of a creature, like say a snake that is quite an aggressive, it's known as quite an aggressive solitary snake.
Yeah.
No matter how much you handle one of them, it's not really going to enjoy it, because that's just its mannerisms. And I think people assume that mantis shrimp are like that. You know, they punch so hard it's going to break your finger off. You can't keep it in a glass tank and all that. And I think there's a lot of like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like when there's a yeah. I think there's a lot of that around mantis shrimp, and I think I'm kind of showing people that actually you can have quite a interactive pet out of these people. Creatures.
Would you ever have an octopus?
I
don't encourage her. She doesn't need encouragement.
Would you not like to see that?
I would love an octopus, but I am well aware of the care that they need, the attention that they need, and the tank being completely secure. Because they're like escape artists, they'll get out the smallest little as long as their beak can fit through it, they're going. I feel that keeping it, like, if I wouldn't just go to a pet shop and go, I want an octopus, get me an octopus in. It would be a case of I get an octopus that is needing a home. It's a rescue. It's coming on a piece of rock that they didn't know about, and it really needed somewhere to go. That would be how I got one. I wouldn't necessarily go out and buy one.
But Tom's just said, where are we going to fit an octopus tank? So
in our new house, Tom, don't worry about it.
I feel like Tom's going, don't encourage her.
Like although he says that, I encourage him as much as. Not long ago he was like, oh, you know what, I've always really wanted dart frogs. I was like, get them. And now we've got dart frogs in the bedroom. Do you know what I mean?
Aren't they noisy at night?
No, we've got morning geckos in there, and they like at each other. They're really annoying. But the frogs, no, they're quiet. We think we've got a male and a female. Tom, what are the frogs? I can't even remember what type they are. Alex can Google them then.
I was starting to add, there seems to be this new, there's like added. I didn't know you had day geckos. I didn't know you had dart frogs. So there just seems to be more and more stuff. How many animals do you have?
What have we got? Two, not that many. I've got my tanks.
The chickens are at school, I believe, because you've been doing a lot with the chickens.
They have been. I was saying to somebody the other day, the chickens have taken up more time recently than my fish tanks have. Like with everything that I've been doing with them. But we're gonna have babies soon. The chicks will be hatching next week, so I'm very excited, and the kids are very excited about that as well. I did it for the kids.
They do that at the school, like
Well,
we had ducks at the school, but they were wild ducks, so they just lived there.
Yeah, we technically get wild ducks then. No, I shot myself in the foot last summer because obviously throughout the school holidays, there's nobody really at school. So, there you go. You've got the name of them there, Alex. He's giving you the Latin name.
Go on, try that. Give that. Alex loves to read Latin names because it makes him sound intelligent.
Dendrobate. This sounds like a Harry Potter spell. Dendrobate.
Tinctorus.
Tucumaki.
I know they're Tinctorus. That's definitely Tinctorus.
Ryan also likes me to say these names because it makes me sound like an idiot because I get it wrong.
That's true. That's
these
true.
Ones.
They're the ones we've got.
Oh, they're actually pretty cool. That wasn't.
Yeah, they're really cool. Really cool. We've got two of them, hoping for a boy and a girl, but we don't know yet. Anyway, so these chickens, I shot myself in the foot last summer because they needed somebody to keep coming in and seeing these chickens. And I said, oh, well, I'll just send them, I'll pick them up and they'll go to my mum's, because my mum's got chickens. And they were like, oh, you know, do you know chickens? And I was like, oh yeah, I've grown up with chickens. You know, I know a lot about chickens and their keep and stuff like that. And then I came back in September to work, and they were like, oh, so you're the lead adult on the chickens now. You have to look after them. So yeah, I've just
they're like, we found a sucker here. We've
like,
solved
oh,
our
this
problem
idiot,
permanently.
she's already. And all the other ones are like, oh no, I'm scared of birds, I don't want to go. And I'm like, no, you just.
It's not really a bird, though, is it? I know it's a bird, but it's like a bird.
Don't know.
Chicken
I
is
think
about
a bird is
bird
a bird.
you can get.
No.
Birds, no, but like people are scared of birds because they flap in your face and stuff. And I know they can flap, but they're not like
Alex,
they
chickens
don't.
have wings.
Yeah, but they're not going to fly at you and like take off, are they?
No. If you pick them up, they're going to flap. But have you ever seen a cockerel? There's a reason why people are scared of chickens, because cockerels are nasty.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they can really come for you.
Okay.
So I've been doing a lot with them. Like, I've got like blisters on my fingers and everything, but they're all done now. I'm going to go tomorrow to check on them, because it's half term now, so checking on them. But yeah, that's been.
It wasn't. I just remember it wasn't ducks. It was actually a wild goose that used to come to the school. Just this random single goose that was named.
Was it friendly?
Oh, as in we didn't go. It was there. It was there for days, and it would fly away for in the winter and then come back, and it would just come and live at the school.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
So
I'll see, if I was there, I'd be like, come here.
Yeah. There is no migrating for winter.
Yeah.
You get to live
You
here
stay
now.
with me, I'll keep you happy.
So, but I wanted to ask. There's a few other things that I was interested in. I was more about. Well, one of the things I wanted to ask you about is obviously Ludo. Unfortunately, didn't survive.
He didn't.
You had him for quite a while. I don't know how long they live for normally.
Yeah, so it's hard to know their age. He was pretty much fully grown when I got him.
Yeah.
And his shedding, like the space was about, I think it was about 8 months, 9 months, which is a long time for him to go, because obviously as they get older, they're not shedding as much. So he was a good age, and he shed at the beginning of February. So he did it all, was absolutely fine. And then I'm assuming something must have gone wrong from that.
Yeah.
You know, it's used too much energy, or maybe something's gone wrong with it or something. Because I just he was fine. I say he was fine. He was reluctant, but he had just shed, do you know what I mean? So I just put that down to the fact that he just shed, and maybe he was just like hardening his shell and stuff. Yeah, and I came down and he passed away, which was a huge shock.
Then
so how long had you had him in total? Sorry, did I miss that?
Say that again.
How long had you had him?
I had him for about 3 years, I think. It's hard to know. I'd have to go back on like my TikTok and see like when I first got him. Maybe around that. But yeah, the one I've got now, Books that I've got now, was a lot smaller, so I know he's not.
I was old.
And yeah, hopefully either that or he's just a small adult. But
you're exposed to a lot of people on TikTok, not just your own followers, but all the other idiots that don't follow you.
Yeah, and you know what? I find they're the worst, because they will see one video, take an idea of who I am, and go from there. Like the video where there's a video where I've got my hand in the tank and Books is like sitting in my hand. Yeah. And he's like swimming around, and I'm like, at one point he swims up, and I don't know if I put it in the video or not, but I like grabbed his tail. I was like, no, get down, get back down. And he's like trying to swim away and stuff like that. And I'm like, no, come back down. And that, because that video, it's always the ones that go viral are the ones that people see that they don't.
When they're controversial,
they were like,
go viral.
you know, calling me an idiot. Oh, this girl doesn't know what a mantis shrimp is capable of. Like, I know more.
Mantis shrimp savvy is the word you're looking for.
Yeah. Like, I am well aware, but I do find that, and I always say this, the followers that I've got and the people that watch my videos regularly, I've got a wonderful base, a wonderful community. I very rarely get any kind of hate or like nasty comments or stuff like that. I feel like I'm one of the lucky ones, really. That
They
I've
probably
managed
come and
to
defend you as well.
build. Well, this is the thing. If people then comment, and I find it as well, if people ask questions, because I've probably answered it before, people will then come and comment and say, "Oh, she's already said, she said this, she said that," So I am really lucky in that sense.
I wondered if people understood, because I saw the video with when obviously he first died, and it was quite an emotional one for you. But to other people that don't have tanks, they don't realize that we actually get very attached to the animals we keep. And I just wondered if being exposed to that many people as something that was quite hard for you, you could see it was hard for you, would actually to some extent make it worse, because a lot of these people would not understand.
Yeah, so I'm going off that, just telling my followers that it had happened. That he died, and then I was mourning him, and I was like crying, and I was so upset, and then it twigged in my head, oh my God, I've got to tell so many people that this has happened.
Yep.
And
don't buy more Shido, because you get the same sense of impending doom.
And then it just makes it so much worse, because it's like, I'm not just the one that's going to mourn this. Like, I'm going to break so many people's hearts, because there's so many people out there that love him. To be honest, and on the video, I didn't get any, not that I saw, I didn't get any nasty comments of like, why are you crying? It's just a shrimp. I didn't get any of them. Which, to be honest, I don't think I'd have cared about anyway, because obviously then people don't know what it's like to have a pet, because it doesn't matter, cat, dog, anything like that. I was interacting and dealing with that with Ludo every single day. I was chatting to him through the glass, I was tapping, I was feeding him, I was doing all this stuff, I was doing enrichment with him. It is just the same as having a cat and playing with a cat every night in your
just in a box.
Yeah, exactly, just contained. And he was obviously Ludo was my first introduction into mantis shrimp, and I learned so much from him, and in turn was able to teach so many other people about him, that I was just so like, he was just my baby. He was just like, it took me a long time to get over it. And to be honest, getting books, hearing that, like, somebody messaged and was like, just so you know, there is a mantis shrimp here. It needs a home. And I thought, well, I'll go look. And then I was like, well, I'm not leaving him here. Do you know what I mean? He's coming home with me. And he very much helped heal like the loss that I had, because for a good few weeks that tank was empty. And for the first couple of days especially, I would look in, because it was just, I'd come down in the morning, I'd turn the kettle on, get a cup out ready for a cup of tea, and I'd just look in the tank. It was just like muscle memory. So there was a lot of times that happened. So getting books really did help kind of fill that hole and make it a bit better.
The next bit I wanted to get onto is, and this is, I think, it's fair to say that I think it's slightly unusual. Would you? I don't want to offend you, because everyone's different.
No, I know.
But you have decided to have him taxidermied.
I have. Yes. I have.
And this is not the first of the animals that you have preserved.
No. So I've got my first ever sea urchin, Bebo. I've got him still.
Okay.
I've got my cowfish. So he's like this, his body's this big, and then I've got his tail separate. I've done that. I've got my other box fish, Cuba and Peabody. I've still got them. I've got my my bobbit worm.
Bobbit worm in a jar.
So Rachel here, she has a collection of Lego, and so she has a Lego room, which where there's a whole. Have you got? Have you and Tom agreed a space for these animals?
Yeah, so I keep mine in my bathroom. We've got like a little cove bit, and it's got a glass shelf, and they are on the top kind of together. I haven't decided where I'm going to put Ludo. I'm actually getting him his full body. So I've been sent pictures that I haven't shown online because they're a bit more like they're mine. Do you know what I mean? It's my boy.
Yeah,
I'm going
yeah.
to share what I want to share.
Yeah.
But I've got photos of like his face and his head, and there is a photo. He wasn't. So the process is obviously he needs to be dried and clean and stuff like that, and then he's actually going to get painted.
Okay.
Really intricately, because it's cool actually. I should have sent you the photos. So when he first got put on them blocks to dry, you could
Yeah.
see his blues, but as he's dried, he's gone very, very orange, like you can see in the pictures.
Yeah.
So to bring back his more like natural hue, the taxidermist is going to paint him, which obviously it's a long process, but I'm hoping to get him back soon. But I've seen like more pictures of him and the process and stuff like that. Yeah.
It sounds like Tom's up for it because he just said you should show the skeleton of the codfish. It looks very cool. So you found the perfect person.
Codfish? Oh, he means cowfish.
Oh, the cowfish. Oh, yes. Yeah, because they have like.
Find it.
Tom, do you want to? I don't know if he's
If
in
you
the
just
bath
type
or
in
not.
cowfish
Tom,
skeleton.
bring the cowfish up.
But look, we're
Tom,
going
are
to
you
have
in
a
the
live
bath?
showing.
Can you bring the cowfish?
The people listening to the podcast are just hearing it. Tom, are you in the bath? So,
If Tom walks in naked now, I mean, this is
yes.
this video as well as a podcast, so we're in trouble. But
We'll get demonetized.
Yeah, but I knew I wanted to keep. He's too pretty. He's gorgeous.
Yeah.
I knew I wanted to keep him. It was just a case of how do I do that? And then when I researched into it, like people were like, "Oh, put him in resin." I'm like, I'm not making him into a paperweight. You know, just putting him in clear resin.
He's going to be an ornament instead to be
I
appreciated.
can't touch him. I can't enjoy him.
I was out of the bath.
Oh, you were out the bath. Thanks very much. So this is Pickles.
Oh, so he's not. I thought he was in like a jar, but he's not. He's actually
no. So he's dried. Let me get him out. So I stuck his tail at the back.
Yeah.
So his tail is there.
You couldn't get a bigger box for all of him.
No, it took me a long time to find this box.
Yeah.
It's funny seeing that because I know they have an exoskeleton, but it's still weird that looks exactly like the fish, just a different color, basically.
Yeah. So
I remember last time you said so. The inside was he's even got his beak attached.
So so he's still got his beak attached, and you can see his. Can you? I don't know if you could see his little teeth. So you can see his teeth. Obviously, his eyes, where his gills were.
People that are tuning in now are like, this live stream's taken a very strange.
It's even got the same pattern, more or less.
Yeah,
like the
and
underside.
you can see, which is funny. When I first got him, he bashed his head on the glass and broke his horn a little bit, and you can see. Like, hold on, let me get my finger behind it. You can see his little indent. But yeah, you can see all of his little like, what's it like, honeycomb pattern? His little top fin,
the scales,
his back bit, his little butthole.
Why is his tail separate? Is that not attached to them normally?
The way it was, this is all obviously hard.
Yeah.
The tail was attached with muscle. So when because I did all this myself, I won't go into detail. It was disgusting, but I cried.
You did this yourself.
I cried. There was a lot of crying, a lot of gagging doing it. But
God.
I'm glad I did it. But
yeah.
So it was muscle that attached the tail. So when he went through the process, there was no hard bit to attach it to.
Yeah.
So I put his tail. Plus, I would have needed an even longer box to put him in.
Yeah.
With his tail, but that's Pickles.
Are they all preserved like that, or are the other ones just in jars?
No, so Pookie's the only one that I've got in a jar. The other ones are dry preserved.
Oh. So it's not actually what I was thinking. I was thinking that you just had a load of yellow jars, because the preserved is a funny color, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's only when it like kind of dissipates. So that's why I did that video of me changing Pookie, because she was in formaldehyde. I put her in alcohol, then formaldehyde, and then put her back into alcohol because formaldehyde can break them down over time. Yeah. So she's back in alcohol. And that had started to discolor and stuff, but it's not anymore. Sorry, Pickles just exposed you to the
to the world.
It exposes bumhole as well.
Yeah,
That's
no,
true.
I do apologise.
People were loving that though, so it's
Oh,
good.
good.
J-
It'd be the
just
same unless we saw his butthole exactly.
interrupting the taxidermy theme. You had a jellyfish tank a while ago.
I did, yeah. I've had different types of jellyfish.
So they're kind of like the a bit unusual, that sort of thing, which is right up your street. But you don't interact with it. You get no interaction back from the jellyfish whatsoever.
Oh no,
Ryan,
it's just like
Ryan
it's just like
hates jellyfish.
I hate jellyfish. They are the most ungrateful pet.
you could get a bit of cling film, put it into a ball, put it in
Yeah,
the
same
water.
thing.
That's you've got a jellyfish. They're
Yeah.
exactly. And the last ones I got, so I've had moon jellyfish, which are great, and they're like the usual ones that people will get. That's like their intro into
Yeah.
it. I've had blue cannonball. No, they're like blue spotted lagoon. I had, which were fantastic. They
sure.
were
I think I know what they are,
really
but I'm
good.
not
They were
100%
really robust. They were really fun to look at.
Yeah.
That's them.
Okay, they're cool.
And the last ones I got, I think, were the blue cannonballs. I think. Let's have a look at the picture.
You see,
Yeah.
these
Them-
you used to see off the back of the house in Australia all the time.
Them,
Ah,
they are not made for captivity. They do
Okay.
not want to live.
Okay.
It doesn't matter what you do. I was feeding them like probably with your Moorish idol like 12 times a day.
Yeah.
Constantly had fresh brine shrimp going around the tank. They're knowing what I know from like having moon jellyfish and the blue cannonballs. No, the blue spotted. Sorry, they're not made for. I know, but I've said this. People are like, "Oh, what jellyfish should I get?" I'm like, "Don't get them. They don't want to
get-
live. They're
I feel
terrible.
that
They're
people
expensive
shouldn't
and they
get
don't want to
any
live."
jellyfish. Because I
Yeah.
think there are like one of my friend I messaged
of
me
my
just before
friend.
Christmas. Well,
My one friend.
my friend.
no, my one friend is Alex, but that's not true. For all the other friends I've got out there that are listening, one of my friends, I was in Australia at the time, and they messaged me saying, "Oh, my girlfriend really wants a jellyfish tank," and I went, "Do not get it. If you want to get her a tank, get her a little tank, just like a fluval evo, put some clownfish in it, and you'll probably will still be in the hobby long term if you do that. It'll get you
They
hooked."
need, because the tanks are quite small as well, they need so much maintenance. They are a pain in the arse to clean out because
Yeah.
it's curved.
Yes.
They need you are constantly having to hatch brine shrimp.
Yeah. And it leaves like
And you get
brown
nothing out of
skid
it.
marks around
Yeah.
yeah.
They
They're just the ugliest tanks that anyway, so I told him not to get one. I said and he did anyway. So he obviously gave it to her for Christmas, and by March it was gone. And I was like, you just wasted like 200 quid or
Yeah.
probably more than that.
No, they're
You
more than
didn't
that. They
listen
are quite
yeah.
expensive. And the jellyfish and the amount of money that you put into brine shrimp.
Yeah.
You usually do water changes once a week. I was like every other day, like taking out scoops of water and putting fresh water in there.
Yeah.
Like, and they still want to die. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the blue lagoons were probably the best. They were robust and they were pretty to look at. They were
Yeah.
actually something to look at and watch. The moon jellyfish are just like cling film, and the blue cannibals didn't want to live. So
I had the moon jellyfish, and I remember getting them. And I was like, at first you're like, oh, this is so interesting and great. And then after a week, when the maintenance starts and the brown
and the algae starts, the
yeah.
skid marks going down,
Yeah.
and
because they need loads of food, which means they're in high nutrient tanks, and like
and the way that
But they need pristine water.
the way that the
quality.
tank goes, you put the brine shrimp in, it goes sucked straight back out. So unless they get it on that one cycle, that's it. Then they're gone.
Yeah.
It has been pointed out that it's not fair to criticize them for not interacting because they do not have a brain.
That is true. They are just a bag of nerves. But even then,
Like,
Like,
so the amount that you do, I do
That's
less
cows.
for books.
Yeah.
Maintenance wise than I did for them jellyfish, and I look how much more I get out of books than I do them jellyfish.
I always maintain that me and jellyfish will have permanent beef because I looked after them and then I got stung by one of their cousins and it put me in hospital. So
Oh my gosh.
yeah, went down my swimming shorts. It was not good. I pulled out with my hand because I was like, something feels really wrong, and I pulled out with my hand and it was then stuck to that hand. So I did this, and then it was stuck to this hand. And I remember walking out of the water going like, I've been stung everywhere. And I text my parents saying, I've just been stung by a jellyfish. I was in Australia, so,
That's a bit worrying when you're in Australia. Like, these waters get stung.
Yeah.
Oh, it's okay. Australia, I'd be a bit more worried.
It wasn't instant. The feeling that the pain wasn't instant.
Yeah.
And so I just felt like a tingling feeling. So I got out of the ward, text mum and said, I've just been stung by a jellyfish. Then 8 hours of silence from me. Nothing. Because I had been taken to hospital in an ambulance.
How long after you'd been stung?
Probably 20 minutes.
Really?
I couldn't breathe. There's a picture of me with an oxygen mask on the beach. Yeah.
And what was it that stung you? Do you know what it was that stung you?
I can't remember. I can't remember. It was. It might have been one of them. It wasn't the irrigangi or the box jellyfish. It was. It was a lesser one. I think I had a bad rag. I think it was a Portuguese man of war, which I'm not even sure are in.
They're nasty. They're not actually a jellyfish.
Yeah,
they're colour.
Yeah,
that gets stuck to you, and you can see it. Whip
exactly. That's exactly. I am 99% sure that's what it was. I was in the newspaper. Because I found the newspaper the next day, and it just said, that's what it was.
Yeah, you can see where they touch you.
They're really
they leave
nasty.
like burn marks.
Yes. In fact, that definitely was what it was, because it has that like sack above where
they're like 400 yards long or whatever. We all know what you're supposed to do with the jellyfish thing, Ryan. So
that is a myth. That's a myth, just so you know.
Hey, but he's been stung down there. How's he going to do it?
But if he's in the back of an ambulance, there's someone on hand,
No, it was. As I said, the funny thing was they gave me morphine. And they go to you on the beach. They gave there's a type where you just like
suck it. Yeah.
So they gave you morphine, and then that makes you feel great because you don't feel anything. And I remember getting to the hospital, and I was just going, there's nothing wrong with me. Everyone else just like go see everyone else. I'll be fine. And I signed myself out of the hospital, which they told me not to do. They said, you probably shouldn't do this. But I signed myself out after, as I said, I was probably 8 hours where I was missing. And then once I left, the morphine wore off. And I still remember as vividly as anything in the evening, sitting there like this, just hurting everywhere. But you live and learn.
Man of war is not a jellyfish. It is a
siphonic. You said cousin. No, you did say it was a cousin of the jellyfish.
Cousin.
You've not been stung by a jellyfish.
It's funny that I've had morphine once, and it was when I had appendicitis, and I went in fetal. They gave me the morphine, and I was like, I'm fixed.
That is exactly what it was like. And I remember slowly feeling it wearing off, going, oh, this is coming back. So, but
apparently they used to back in the day. They used to use heroin to get you off morphine, whereas now it's the other way around. So it's the same thing basically.
Well, I'm telling you, it was
morphine's a hell of a drug.
The next day I was back in the water, like rolling around, see if I could get some more. But it's just funny because I never realized how at the time what was going to happen after that it happened. So
that's scary.
But I even remember thinking, like, the Australians must think that, there's this English guy he's been touched by one of our thing, and he's like,
this idiot.
He's like, this idiot's been. But I mean, there were signs saying there are jellyfish here, but even though they're not jellyfish.
How did it get right? It floats on top of the water. It's got that like weird bladder. Yeah. How did it get down your pants?
What are you doing, Wayne?
So this is actually what happened.
We've all been curious before, you experiment, you try new things.
Yeah, I'm like, ooh, what happens if it stings? I actually dived into a wave, and it actually went down the back of my swimming shorts.
Okay.
So it wasn't, and that's when I remember thinking, ooh, something feels not right. Yeah. So.
But you saw it yourself.
Yeah.
Ooh, of an accident.
So because that's the other thing. That's the other thing. You're just all of a sudden you're standing in the waves, and you just got your hands down your trousers. Yeah. There's all these people around you, and you're like,
the kids were running away, the parents were screaming.
Yeah. So when I heard that they'd called they'd called the equivalent of 999 essentially, I thought the police were coming. So, but no,
we have an Aussie in the crowd who's said you couldn't walk barefoot on the beach if there were man of wars washed up.
I had no idea that they were this bad. Even now, I didn't realize.
You're just there, like,
I can imagine all the Australians like say on the beach, but like idiots going.
Stay away, mate, and you're like you're rubbing it on your arse, and you're like touching it. And, like...
But what I do remember is they I can't remember who it was, but someone said to me, you should have just taken your swimming shorts off, because then you would have only just been stung in one place, rather than having it on your hand. I'm like,
though.
Yeah.
no, I know, but there is hindsight. But secondly, I'm not taking my swimming shorts off at the beach.
Yeah.
Like, you'll get arrested. So
Yeah.
but
Better to be arrested than
Fair
die.
enough.
yeah, no, yeah,
yeah.
true.
You
But
don't get morphine when you're arrested, so.
True. I never got a scar like that in the end, because you know the pictures you showed earlier, I didn't get a scar or anything. But yeah, it was definitely an interesting day, is what I'll say.
I feel
So
like
yeah,
got...
you've got that's fair beef to have then with jellyfish.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I wouldn't get jellyfish again though. You know,
I would not.
I'd love to try a different type. Knowing like being able to be like, oh yeah, moon jellyfish, great, blue spotted, great, cannibals, crap. You know, it'd be good to see like I like the difference in them. Do you know what I mean? And learning about them and stuff. So from that, and also if it goes terribly wrong, obviously they don't have a brain; they're just a bag of nerves that disintegrate. So I feel like if there was one creature that I was going to be like, oh, I'll try that out, they would be the creature. I'm not going to get a fish and go, oh, see how I get on. And if it dies, you know, I'd feel absolutely devastated.
We have totally different mentalities towards this. So I am very much of the opinion I'm going to get something and I'm going to keep it forever. Like that, like once you are in, you are in. You're part of the crew. Yeah, it's different with a coral farm because people sometimes give me fish and then they'll go to other people. But once you're in the water box, it's very unusual for me to take something out. Which is what even now with the Moorish Idol, I'm very tempted. I'm very tempted, but I think it actually comes down to laziness that I can't be bothered to catch it and leave it on. That is true. I think it comes down to laziness.
I'm like that too. Like my like I said with my hippo tang, like if it starts causing problems, it's gone. But I'd rather it not go. You know, it's my baby.
Into a jar is what she means.
Yeah.
Into the alcohol you go.
Yeah.
But I think it's because you don't get any kind of interaction with jellyfish. It's not even like they've got no eyes. They don't even like. It's not like I go to a pet shop and a fish looks at me and I go, "You're mine now. We've made a connection here. That's my problem." Like I'll see something and go, oh, "It loves me. It wants me. It wants to come home with me." Whereas you don't get that with jellyfish. It is just like a bit of cling film going around in a circle.
Cubic aquariums, which were the original jellyfish tank people, they actually do a tank which is much larger. So everyone has that round one, but
the price.
I think it costs a lot of money, but they do one that's like 2 or 3 feet, I think. And I think if you...
Oh, I don't need that. The maintenance that you've got to do for nothing, I'm not getting any more.
Well, there you go.
Not going bigger.
I always wondered if having a bigger one would actually make people more successful. The other thing that
it probably would.
The other thing I also thought that this could actually end up being a terrible idea, but having it connected to your main tank... It's not that one. That's actually a different type of one.
Oh, so like having the water going in and out from your main tank into
it. So I actually connected mine to my 1,000-litre tank, but that wasn't it wasn't for jellyfish. I realized that you could breed fish in them and you could breed fish without putting any effort in, because normally with Bangai cardinals you need to they have to be fed live food, and I couldn't be bothered to feed them live food. So, and they were breeding constantly. So I thought, what I'm going to do, I'll catch the male, put him into the tank, and I will take the male out, put him back into the, like when he's ready to go. And then I will feed them frozen rotifers, because that's what they have to have first.
And it keeps them moving.
And it keeps it moving.
Alive.
Yeah.
But weren't the fish not in constant...
No, they didn't care.
Machine mode?
No, they didn't care. The fish stayed in the middle pretty much, and it worked so well. There was I would say there was if you fed them live food, you had a higher success rate with regards to like so I think you normally get like 20 or something in each batch, and if you fed them live food, you might get 18 because there's always a few. They have something called sudden fright syndrome where they'll be completely fine and they just randomly die. That does happen. So I think that I got 16 or something like that. So there was a slight less, but I did it quite a few times and it worked. So I was like testing out a new form of aquaculture basically. This was a long time ago, but the problem with Bangais is once the female wants to breed again immediately, and then
it's just a constant cycle.
Yeah. and the male can't handle it, and they usually starve. So you have to keep them separate for a period of time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That makes
that's
sense because they're mouth brooders, aren't they? Yeah,
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah,
And
but
she's like ready to go straight away. As soon as he spits him out, she's like, "Oh yeah, come on then." She's like,
Here's some more.
"At least give me a burger or
I've
something."
been eating them for a month.
Yeah. But their instincts is so strong that rather than just swallow the next batch of eggs, they'd rather starve. It's really odd.
So
That's
you always
crazy.
talk about how stupid copper bands are, but maybe Bangor cardinals is just, it's not paternal
No,
instinct.
No,
They're so stupid they can't realise if they just let this one go, they can.
Yeah, and they would be fine because I think it takes.
She's still
3
got to
weeks.
then produce eggs,
she has to
so
produce
they'd
more.
have
Yeah,
that time.
but so
Could you not
she
swap the males out? I've
you
got
can
2 males.
you can do that, but I won't have Bangors anymore for that reason, just because they're a pain.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. So they're a fish that a lot of people have, and a
Ew.
lot of people get recommended, but either have one or none.
When
I've
they
never
do
had them.
breed, though, it's really cool.
Yeah, I've never had them, and I would like to try them for the breeding. For the for watching it and seeing it, but also the fact that I could do videos on it and show people this is how they do, their breeding and stuff like that. I think it'd be really cool to show other people.
I wanted to ask you that, actually, because people do get into I remember Aaron's Aquarium mentioned it, that you get to a stage where you're buying things for social media. Is that something that
I have never bought anything specifically for social media. There has always been me wanting it.
Yeah.
Like I've had fish and creatures before that I haven't put online. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there will be a creature I think, oh, I really want that. And then with the fact that I do videos, I do find my brain just goes to, you could do some videos on that. Like there's that little thing at the back that says, oh, TikTok would really, really like that. So I've still got that, like with the Bengals, I'd love to try them, and I've wanted to try them for ages and ages, regardless of videos. But also I know full well that I'd be able to make some really interesting educational videos with it.
Yeah.
So there is that. But I'd never just buy a creature because it would look good on camera.
Yeah. They're a pain to pair up as well. If you are considering them, try to get a pair from a tank breakdown, because if you get 2 males, they will try and kill each other. And what will happen is one male will keep the other male in a really small cave or like a little
that's your area. I get all the rest.
And it's it's difficult to get them out. It's not like it's roaming around. You could just scoop the other one out. It literally will keep it in one place.
No,
so you
can
have to
because
tell
it's funny.
the
I think because they are like, oh, go on, Carrie.
But it is theoretically possible, or not theoretically, it is possible to tell the difference between males and females. But it's really difficult. I think there's I think the males have 2 little nodules under their belly, and the females have 1. Or
and
the
haven't they got to be?
around.
This is what I was going to say. Haven't they got to be adult for you to see that?
Maybe,
as well? You can't see them when they're young.
I've never been able to do it, and I've sat with people who can do it.
Yeah,
and they're like, have a look at that, and I'm like, I don't know what you're seeing. Yeah.
But I would say the ones that I've seen very recently are all young. You very rarely see an adult now because they are like bred in captivity.
Yeah.
It's like hippotangs. Can't remember last time I saw a big adult, a good sized hippotang. They're all little now.
So they're seasonal. So you get them at small sizes. At this time, I think this might not be correct, but you definitely get them in batches where you get loads of small ones and then no small ones, and you get slightly bigger ones. Bangais are all tank bred. They're actually, I don't know if they still are, but they come from the Bangai Islands, which is where they get their name, and they're an endangered species. Interestingly, however, they are also an invasive species in a different part of the world.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's true. So they went. I'm not sure where it is, but I assume probably because of aquariums, they were put in the sea somewhere. Yeah. And there's now loads of them there. So they're endangered in their natural habitat, but they're everywhere else.
Everywhere else. That's funny. Yeah,
but you still get, despite that, you still get wild collected.
Do you?
I think.
Really?
I think that's right. I'm sure someone told me that.
I've not seen them, but that doesn't mean that's not true. When you see them at the wholesaler, they're always in batches of like 300 of them. There's loads of them.
Well, I tell you what, keep an eye out for a couple that we know are male and female. If you find anybody that's I've got a tank breakdown or anything, I'll have them off you.
There you go. Someone might be listening, going, "Yeah, I got a pair, and I'm thinking about moving them on."
Yeah. Oh, I've got a question for you though, because last time we spoke, you both were like, "Oh, I might get a mantis shrimp." Have you got one yet?
I have actually been very tempted multiple times.
I know.
But
yeah,
I know that I buy things on impulse sometimes, and I don't want to take on any more. Is the reality. Yeah. I don't want to take the farm and the water box, and I'm like, do I want another tank? And the honest answer is no. I do have.
That's the problem. It is just that tank. It's
not just that as well. Is that it's? I don't think I would. So you try not to say you stimulate your mantis shrimp, but you provide stimulation for your mantis shrimp enrichment.
Enrichment.
You enrich your mantis shrimp and you like play with it.
Yeah.
And that's not just like when you're doing TikToks. That's what you do all day, every day.
I do. Yeah. I don't film half of
exactly. And I wouldn't. I don't think I'd do like. I might do that for a day. But then after that, I'd be like,
I don't know though, because you get to know him, and it is so much fun. It is fun. Yeah. It's a quirky little creature, and you can't help but. I find that I can't help but. I mean, mine's in my kitchen, so like I'm going in there, and he's poking his head out, and it draws you to it. Do you know what I mean? You poke, you're all right, and you tap on the glass and stuff like that.
See, I don't like putting my hands in the tank, and I see you have your hands in the tank all the time.
So you have a coral farm.
I know, no, look, I'd understand that, but what I'm saying is I have to put my hands in the tank for that. But
you don't have to. I don't have to put feeding him feeder shrimp. I class that as enrichment because he's out and about and he's hunting. I'll drop things in the tank that like shells and stuff like that. Sometimes if I go to a pet shop and they've got different shells, I'll get a shell, put some food in it, just drop that in, and that it's like giving a dog a Kong or a frozen treat. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm at sort of at the stage where I hate feeding the fish. That's how into the whole. It's funny because that's the thing I've said multiple times. I have so many fish and so many fish tanks, and fish shops say the same. Like then when you've got so many fish,
it's not
no
fun
longer,
anymore.
No, and I have 8 tanks. I think I'm pretty sure I have eight individual tanks.
But they only need feeding every 2-3 days once they're an adult.
Yeah, you're tempting us, but every so often I'm like. Because you very rarely see them at the wholesaler because they are an acquired taste, and there's nothing really you can keep with them, is there? I know some people keep like a damselfish or something, but it's not recommended.
There is a guy that keeps a domino with his.
That gets rotated out.
I tell people that the reason he has picked a domino is because they all look the same, and they're so easy to get that if it dies, he just gets another and doesn't say anything.
It's always been in there,
Yeah, it's the same one.
Yeah.
There's no way that Mantis isn't going for it.
So they really are quite vicious then as predators.
I wouldn't put like snails. I wouldn't put anything in there. That was.
I did see there was actually it was a guy you met at Aquatic Emporium the other week, Ed and Dave. They one of those guys had a 2-foot tank with mantis shrimp in it. I don't think there were fish in it. Maybe there were, but he had corals. And he said that they used to it would like sometimes it would move one or two of them, but it wouldn't move all of them. So I think it's possible to have it in a semi-reef environment, but it sounds like fish and cleanup crew, forget it.
No, you can't. You put a snail in there, it's going to pummel it. Same with hermit crab. Anything that moves, it's going to grab it.
Yeah.
Like I've done videos. I put them feeder shrimp in. Not so much. Bucks is a little bit of a wimp, and we'll go to chase them, and then it'll touch him, and he'll go and run away. But Ludo would just smash them all. He wouldn't stop until they were all gone. So
I think there's one at Reef Keeper Moss End either at the moment or I saw it recently.
Well, when Ludo died, I did think to myself, because I never see them. I never see them in my local one. They don't really get them in because obviously you said it's not a huge want for them. And I thought I would be in the end looking for one, not just having one. Somebody message me and say, I know there's one here, go, you should go get it. I thought I'd be waiting for ages.
So other than the mantis shrimp, because that's obviously that. Oh, and I suppose and the boxfish. I was just thinking, like, if you could only have one of these creatures, anything you've had previously or now, if you could only have one of them, what would it be?
It would be my mantis.
No, but you can't. I knew that was going to be the answer.
Oh, right. Okay. So I can't pick mantis or boxfish.
And I'm not going to say your boxfish because I already know that's going to be the second one. So
that would be my second.
I want you to say, look, these clingfish were so weird that or this crab or
you know
this
what? I'm going to
shrimp
annoy you and say I might just say jellyfish to annoy you.
Oh, that would annoy me. Yeah. So I just turn the laptop off.
If I could have anything, honestly, I think it'd be like a crab of some sort. I love the decorated crab. Watching him like go around and do his thing and picking up little bits.
This is what I want to hear. So I want you to teach us something that where you go, like, this is worth having, or this is something you never knew that it was such a cool thing, and I wish that. A Naoko wrasse, so like Tom.
That's what Tom wants. Yeah.
Yeah.
What,
Alex had one.
I said he likes his wrasse.
They're so cool. Yeah.
Yeah. I said he likes his wrasse.
But
it
one used to show off, didn't it?
Yeah, it's the one fish that literally it gets more comments than anybody else. Anytime I see in the YouTube Studio app, someone says what fish is it at, and then does a timestamp. It's like it's because it's dive bombs. It's like it's the Naoko wrasse. I don't even need to look anymore. It's like everything.
I know it's him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably go for my decorated crab. Tom hates my decorated crab, by the way. Like, hates it. He says it looks like a spider and it creeps around.
Oh, yeah.
And he'll be looking at the tank and then go, because it's in the corner, like, with its beady little eyes. But I love it. I mean, I already love, like, weird, interesting little creatures. Yeah. Like, watching him go around. And when I first got him, he was picking up astrina starfish and licking them and then sticking them to himself, and it'd move. And you could see him, like, getting annoyed.
Is that how they stick stuff to themselves? They lick it.
Their saliva. So they use their saliva. And you can watch them, especially when you first get one and you put it into a new tank. Obviously they're grabbing bits that are around them. They've been in a stressful situation from moving and stuff, and they feel that they need to like protect themselves maybe a bit more. I don't know if that's the thing, but that's the way I kind of have taken it. So when you first get one and they're like sticking bits around, and it's really interesting to watch. Really,
I can just imagine the astrina is like,
yeah. And then he's like, this astrina's trying to escape, and he's there like pushing it on and like getting really annoyed that it's moving and stuff. They're really cool.
I don't know if there's. I know there's some stuff that we normally do, Alex. And I don't know. You didn't say at the beginning if it was something that we needed to do, or if there was the news or the member questions and things like that. So I thought.
Yeah.
So
we've basically just been completely distracted.
me and Alex spoke about this when you went off before.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So there's no news at all.
Oh, okay, fine.
And there's just nothing happening at the moment.
That's why you just let us, it's been
let us carry on.
There are also no member questions. And the only other thing actually I would say is I did have a quick look to see if I could see Aquashella last week to see if Dr. Tim was doing it. But I couldn't find anything.
Okay.
But no, there's
he's in the news at the moment because he allegedly has stolen $800,000.
Yeah,
it's Dr. Tim's,
not for profit.
From a fish charity, basically.
No,
look, we don't know it's true, but
that's the rumor
that's
going around.
No, it's not a rumor. There's like actually
he's being sued. Yeah, he's been. Yes, yeah.
Oh, so it has happened then.
Yeah.
Well,
it's not. It's not been settled.
Innocent until proven guilty.
Yes.
Well, yeah, but the court of public opinion has decided.
Oh, definitely.
So
we had the same face that you had when we found out. It was like,
oh my god, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Well, do people know, right, that you have put Ludo in your game? Have you told people that there is a Ludo in your game?
So Amy specifically requested. And actually, what happened was
I didn't know we could make requests. Interesting.
Well, there you are. I'll put a bald guy in there for you. But so he was put into the game literally just, and I think at the day I went to show you, and I think that was the day that he died.
Yeah, and it was very, very close.
Yeah, and I was like, I done this for you. Oh, not good. So. I said
no, it was nice. It was one of them heartwarming.
He had been immortalized.
I was sad he was gone, but then I was happy that he was good. But it made me laugh that you'd said to a few people, like, a few people had said, put me in your game, put me as like a person, and then you asked me, and I went, I want my mantis shrimp
Yeah.
in there. I don't want me in there. I want my mantis shrimp.
That is so true. Not everyone, but lots of people go, "Oh, you're making a game." Oh, like, oh yeah, put me in it. Alex hadn't said that, but there's definitely been
He
a
just
few
did
people.
then.
That, yeah, oh, did he? But similar to you, Rachel actually didn't want to be in it. She wanted her dog in it. So
Yeah.
There's in the trailer for it. There's a little sausage dog. So that's a. There's lots of little things. It's actually quite a personal thing when you're creating something.
When you're doing it, yeah.
And there's lots of little things that you do that no one else will know that are in there.
Like little Easter eggs, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what Alex said earlier when I mentioned it to him. But yeah, I have a feeling that, when I spoke to the artist about doing the mantis shrimp, he must have been like, I have like 12 pixels to make this, but I actually think he did an all right job.
They've got more than 12 colours going on.
Yeah. I think he did all right with it, and
he did. Yeah, you can tell it's a mantis shrimp. You can definitely tell it's a mantis shrimp. He did excellent. I love it.
And I think that I think it's going to be one of those things where when people play it, like a lot of people know what a clownfish is or whatever, that people will be like, "Oh, I didn't know that," and they will look it up because they want to see what the real animal looks like.
Hopefully, they'll go on TikTok, type in mantis shrimp, see my videos.
They'll see Ludo, and then that's the thing it was based on.
Yeah, and you will always know that's where it came from.
That's where it came from.
Yeah,
little Ludo. So, yeah, no, that was nice. I like that.
But yeah, it's as I said, the artist. When I spoke to him about that, he was like, "I can do a dog. I'm not sure what I can do with this."
Well, he did excellent. I'm sure it's the first time he's ever probably done it as well.
Yeah, no, to be fair, he is very, very good, and everything I've given him so far, yellow tangs, anything.
Yeah,
like
he's done it.
It'll be interesting when I start trying to do like some shrimp and stuff like that. But it's looking promising so far. It's looking promising.
Have you got jellyfish in it?
There are jellyfish in it. Yeah, there are jellyfish. There's crabs and jellyfish, and the corals is the one bit that I said this to Alex when I saw him last weekend. I don't know how to make it. Like, everyone knows what a shrimp is, or everyone knows what a lobster is, but corals with their individual names, like, is gonna be difficult to. So, do you make up a name for it? Do you use the common name for it, or do you use the a catallophilia is not a? Do you see what I mean?
Yeah. I get what you mean.
Yeah. So I will probably go down the route of the common names, because these can all be changed at the moment. Because staghorn is easier to know than acropora.
And flower pot coral makes sense because it looks like a flower. And so there's lots of little things that you just. But we're actually going to talk about this on the game properly on the next live stream we do. And Alex is going to have some screenshots
visuals
and videos
and stuff.
Yeah. Because I've
been getting all the little behind the scene, when you first do stuff and all that. And I've been really excited about it. I think it's going to be amazing.
Amy was there obviously at the very, very at the beginning. It's funny because
it was an idea. It was just an idea when you told me about it, and I was like,
it was an idea. It was an idea, and Amy went and do it. And then about probably 6 months later or something, I was like, I've done it.
Yeah.
And then Amy went to me.
Bits of it.
Amy went, I never expected you to actually do this. which
I'm glad you have, though.
Yeah. So it's it could be something that ends up being really worthwhile. So
I think it will be.
Yeah. So but everyone will be able to find out about that next week. Because there's no point of it now. And I will be able to show the mantis shrimp next week.
Yeah.
I'll be like, this is Ludo.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You had a list of questions, Ryan. Was there anything else that?
There was lots of questions, but there's plenty of things that has been discussed sort of already. Just in the topic of conversation, it was things like the weirdest thing you've owned, which I'm assuming is probably. I think you have discussed. Actually, I'm not sure you can decide of all the different things. The clingfish.
We've had a list of that.
No, my bobbit worm probably. Who
okay.
Who do you know that's got a full tank dedicated to a bobbit worm?
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
People kill them. They find them and don't want them, and I'm like, give it me.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna name it Pookie.
Yeah. Look, you don't need to do any more to convince people you're strange. So I think they already know.
Exactly.
There's lots of things like the hardest things that you've had to take care of, like which have you found it?
Seahorses.
Because
I was going to
seahorses
ask about seahorses.
I had seahorses for a
Ryan
couple
hates
of
them.
weeks.
hate seahorses.
I had seahorses for a couple of weeks. I lost sleep over them. And the fact, I mean, they were difficult anyway, but then the fact that I had so many people watching me do it, and I did not want to be known as the person that killed the seahorses, because seahorses are like these beautiful, regal, mystical animal. They don't even seem real.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be known, so they went back. I took them back. I was like, I can't,
really?
I can't deal with this. They're not. I think my anxiety and stress was making it so they weren't thriving, because I was worried about the water. So I was like, do I do the water change, or is that going to make it worse? And then like the feeding, I was like, am I overfit? Like I was just second guessing, well, and third guessing and fourth guessing myself so much that I would try them again.
Yeah.
And maybe not put them on video. They would be my little project to do. And then once I was happy that they were thriving and I'd got into the swing of it and I didn't have this pressure, then I would share them. But I'd never be like, guys, I'm getting seahorses, come on this journey with me, because it was the most stressful thing I've ever done in my life.
I'm not sure if Charles has realized that he has quoted me. He's written, they are ungrateful bastards, because I put them like one level above jellyfish. They do move around a little bit more, but they don't do a lot, do they? Seahorses.
No, and they don't have like a true stomach, do they? Their digestive system, they eat and then it's gone. They don't take any nutrients in. That's why you need to feed them so much. And I was just, I was just stressed out.
I didn't know that.
They have no stomach.
They've got no stomach. That's why they need feeding so much.
Yeah,
constantly need food.
And they don't basically, I think they don't store anything. So it's just a continuous cycle. And if you break that cycle, all of a sudden they start keeling over.
Yeah.
So,
and it's really, apparently, luckily I didn't get to this point, but apparently when like sometimes you see a fish and you'll be like, oh, you don't look too great. If you see that with a seahorse, you're done for. You're already done for.
Yeah.
Like the damage is already done and stuff. So,
but you're definitely right. People would have a lot more feelings towards a seahorse than they would a jellyfish.
And my problem is as well, people get to know my creatures. So it's not like I'd be like, here's my seahorse tank with like 4 or 5 seahorses. I would get seahorses and they'd have individual names and people would know about them. So if something happened to one, they would know.
Seabiscuit. Like, there you go. Good name. Seabiscuit for your future, because it's got C and it's the name of a horse. So, because Seabiscuit was a famous racehorse, wasn't it?
Yeah, that is good. But yeah, I do something different with them again.
I had a feeling Alex was Googling what Seabiscuit meant.
I'd heard of Seabiscuit and I was like, I can't remember what that is.
Yeah.
So the hardest one was the seahorses. Then that's interesting, because
and I only had them for a couple of weeks, and as soon as I got rid of them, I was like, oh. And funnily enough, fun fact, I got the tank that is now the mantis shrimp tank that originally was a seahorse tank.
Yeah,
that's why I got that tank. Took the seahorses back. Thought, what can I put in this? Saw Ludo and thought, he can go in that. And that's what started it off.
I've written what frustrates you the most. Which one? But like which one of your
creature animals frustrates me the most?
Yeah, not just in general.
At the moment, it is one of my clownfish. I say pairs.
Yeah.
I had 2 clownfish. I had Nana and Omen. Nana was like 17, 18 years old, passed away. So I just had Omen, which is like just a white clownfish with like little black bits on its fin. And I thought, I'll get him, because he'll be turning now. I'll get him a friend, a pal. Got a new from Ads Aquatics. I got a new, which is where Omen's from as well. Got a new one sent. And this Omen is like going up to this clownfish and like being like, come to the anemone, and like interacting. And this little clownfish is just up in the corner like, I love the corner, and won't move. So that's the most frustrating at the moment. I'm like, I've literally moved the rock up into the corner to be like, it's here, like getting it. Do what you're supposed to do. Pair up, please. But he's, every time I go down, I'm like, you stupid idiot.
Okay, so again, so some of these I did not expect. Did not expect that the most frustrating would be a clownfish.
Yeah, Tom. Well, that's at the moment. It changes.
What's the most?
Have you had it for 18 years?
Pardon?
You said it was 18, 19 years old. Is that how
Yeah, it
long you'd
wasn't.
had
I
it?
didn't have it from 18
Right, yeah,
years
okay.
old.
Yeah.
I got her when she was about 13, I think, from a
Okay.
friend who was moving house and just had that clownfish because she was like aggressive. That's the one, you know, the video where it jumps out at me.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
That's her. That's her.
Yeah.
She was nasty to everybody.
Yeah.
You couldn't put your hand in the tank. She was going for you.
I've got a pair that's like that at the moment in the coral farm, and they're really annoying.
This is the one. And I was live when this happened as well. That's how I got the video. Stupid. Just flopped onto the floor.
Dumbass.
Yeah, absolutely. Clownfish gonna clown.
Yeah, so one of mine bit me once, and this is not an exaggeration, and I pulled my hand out and the fish came with it and it hit the back wall of the, like, as in it's not that far.
It wasn't
Yeah.
letting him go there, was it? It was like, I would rather die than stop biting you.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I know. This like it literally did not want to let go, and obviously it hit the wall and just bounced, hit the floor. I picked up and put it back in, but it was
Yeah.
fine.
That's
But
what mine. Well, I was using
yeah.
tongs at the time because she did bite me, so I would use tongs.
Yeah.
And she was like, well, if you're not going to let me get your hands, then I'm going to go straight for your face, you know?
The problem that you have when you have a coral farm is that people have fish that they want to get rid of when they're closing down. They're like, oh, well, I've sold all my other like higher quality, like not hot, but like
Do you want this
desirable
chromis?
fish. It is like, that's absolutely what happens. I have
Yeah.
chromis, damselfish, but clownfish are one of the ones that gets rehomed all the time.
Really?
And I have to stop saying yes to people because they're fine when they're little and they're like non-aggressive, and then after a while, you can't put your hands in one of the tanks
Well,
because
she's the only one that I've had that is aggressive. I've got Nemo
No,
and Emo,
it's-
which I've had for 5 years each.
yeah,
Like Nemo was like my first saltwater fish that I got. I don't get never any aggression from any of them.
I
Same
reckon
with
it's
Omen,
probably
never any aggression.
50-50. It's like when a clownfish is born, you know, like a Targaryen, they flip a coin.
It's like we said with fish with they've got different personalities. You know, you might
Yeah.
get one that wants corals, you might not get one that wants corals. It's like that,
Yeah.
isn't it? Clownfish might be aggressive.
But I now wear gloves, like rubber gloves in that tank. And although it only covers my wrists, because they're like a bright blue color, the clownfish is
them.
like, yeah, I'm like, it's like, what is this? I've not seen this before, and it's not as interesting.
That's clever. And I swear it's like they know that going between the fingers is the worst part. They
Yeah.
go for the soft bit.
Yeah.
I've definitely had them go for the
Yeah.
webbing. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, psychopaths is what clownfish are.
Yeah.
I just wonder though, do they actually go for the webbing, or do they bite you all the time and you just don't when it gets on your fingers? It's just
That
the
when the
memory
sense-
one.
sensitive
No.
part, that's when you
Yeah, the
realise.
memory, that's the one you
Yeah.
remember. So, I underrated species. Then we're gonna go through these. We're just gonna like just
Ooh, probably the filefish. Everyone's like,
I love
them.
them. They're so cool. Yeah,
yeah,
100%.
I do. And like, I've had people going like, why have you got 2 of them? Like, And I'm like, they're great. They zip around the tank and they're really, I know, I did see that from Tom. The way that they like change color and you can tell how they're feeling, they'll go like, mine go from like really, really dark brown to like pale moss
yeah.
green. And yeah,
You're really selling it to me when I've got a Regal Angel. It goes from pale dark brown to dark brown.
But they just float around the tank looking cool. They're just totally
They do,
different.
and
The
they're a
swimming
cute,
pattern is
they're
just,
a cool shape, and I think I just love them. I think they're lovely little fish.
They get quite big. Like I've seen
Yeah,
them.
mine
they're, like,
haven't done yet.
big,
luckily.
big.
Are
Yeah.
you talking like the tasseled ones?
Or
I've seen the
maybe
tasseled
I-
ones that look.
Yeah, maybe then.
Yeah, they look massive, but
Yeah, they get really. Oh yes, I had one of them. I called it Fraggle. That went back to the shop because it started bullying everybody, and I had to cut it. I made the mistake of picking it out of a net, got caught all in the net, and I had to cut the net to get it out because it was stuck in it.
Yeah.
But that was a really they're really cute. They're like more white with like browny black spots, aren't they? Kind of like patterned. Them ones. Am I right?
I think so.
it's been a while since I've seen one, but I just remember
Yeah.
it was just a bit bigger. And a
But
bit
yeah,
more
they
tasty.
get big.
Yeah.
If you had unlimited money,
Mm.
remember you can't go, I'm gonna have a whale shark. Like, so you just like someone else was paying for your tank for you. You still had to maintain it, but what would you get?
I would get probably a really big long tank with a really intricate cave system for my mantis shrimp. That's what I'd want.
That so you've got an unlimited amount of money, and all you want is a slightly bigger
I would
tank.
buy a 4-foot tank for one animal.
No, obviously you've got the whole
Easy to police.
I'd get a wall, like, but thinking like if I've got to deal with it, if I've got to maintain it, and
You've got an
do
unlimited
everything with
budget.
it,
You got a team of staff on hand at all
Oh yeah, I
times.
suppose you could. Like this is
do I get
imaginary. You have a team.
do I get people dealing with it for me? Because
Yeah,
if
if you
so,
want.
I'm getting like a
You
big
can pay Ryan
wall.
to do it.
I'm going scuba diving in it. You know what I mean?
I thought you'd say octopus. I really thought if you could pay someone to design the tank properly with an unlimited, I really thought that was the thing you'd get.
Yeah, I like that. Or them flamboyant cuttlefish. If I felt
Yeah.
like, you know,
They're not that big though. You don't need a huge tank for
no,
it.
they're only little.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
I know, but like they hunt live food and stuff like that, so they take obviously a lot of care and stuff
Yeah.
like that, and they're quite delicate, I think, cuttlefish. So octopus would be a good one. Imagine like a huge octopus tank.
Is
with
there
a really
anything?
big octopus?
Is there anything that you would recommend to other people that they wouldn't normally get? You have to remember most other people don't have the tanks you have, so and they're not getting a new tank. But is there anything you're like, oh yeah, I got this, and I actually think other people should have? It's like underrated.
I would say that, I know I've said this, but the aptasia eating filefish, everyone complains about, oh, I've got loads of aptasia outbreak, I'm going to get the nudibranchs and stuff like that. Get a filefish, great little creature. Sea urchins, like, one, you get to put hats on them, which is fantastic. But secondly, they keep my tank so clean. Like all the rock, you can see where they've been. They like rasp the rock.
I found mine would eat the silicon around the edges of the water box.
Oh,
tank.
I've never had that.
Yeah, as in even to this day, there's lots of little tiny bite marks in it, and it would never be able to get all the way in. So it's just obviously getting the very edge of it. But I still was like, I don't like those. I don't like this.
My bobbit worm did that. One
Did
day I'd come down and I'd be like, "What's that black stuff?" And I thought it was like a poop, and it wasn't. It was the silicon. They chew, and that's a known thing that they do, is that they will chew silicon. Yeah.
Try to get out.
That's what Red Sea should be telling people. They should be like, nah,
It's
nah,
you've got a bobbit worm in there.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. This is a bit of a more difficult one because you might not remember, and I wrote this down, and I'm not sure I'd be able to answer it. But what's the worst advice that you have been given? Alex, you can answer this as well, Alex, if you want.
The worst advice
Ryan
that I've
told
been
me.
given.
Yeah.
The worst advice.
There's so much.
Yeah.
It's funny because like with me having my platform and stuff, I'm always getting advice, whether it's unsolicited or wanted.
More often than not, unsolicited.
a lot of the time I will be like asking people, like, because I've got such a big platform, I get the privilege of getting everybody's ideas together. Do you know what I mean? I can ask a question and get loads of different advice and stuff like that. The worst advice, I don't know, because honestly, I very rarely take other people's advice, even when I should.
Yeah.
I just do things.
Is there anything? So there's nothing that jumps out to me that I
know.
If I put my mind to it, maybe. But is there anything that you've got in mind that you've heard, right?
No, that's what I've said. I wrote this down, and I actually thought to myself, I would struggle to. I've seen shops give advice to other people, but not to me about things. But I couldn't tell you right. I remember loads of times I've been standing there going, what are you telling them?
There has been times where, like, I'll get a fish and a pet. Like, I'm quite lucky because I go regularly to one fish shop.
Yeah.
And the guy is very, very knowledgeable.
Yeah,
I've never
it
really
makes a
been
big
strayed
difference.
far. But there has been times where, like, I've seen a fish and they've gone, oh yeah, not at this place, but like different places. Oh yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
It doesn't get big.
Yeah.
You've got ages until it gets big.
Yeah, that's true. That's one.
And then suddenly you've got this cowfish that you really need to get a new tank for. Do you know what I mean?
There was only two other ones that, and we haven't really touched on coral at all, because I know you're not massively into coral, are you? But I wondered
I like the way they look. They annoy me. At the moment, for some reason...
They annoy me because my fish keep eating them.
For some reason, like, last night we were going to bed and I was like, that torch has got, what is it, brown jelly.
Brown jelly, oh.
I was like, why has it done that? So I've just had to take it out and plonk it in the bin.
Yeah.
Like, that's what annoys me about them, is that I find them more finicky than I find fish.
Yeah, no, I think I would say that's fair. Do you have you got other Euphilia or torches or frog spawns or in that
I haven't
tank?
got any frog spawn. I've got hammers. I've got
Just keep an eye, because if you see one start to go, don't be like, oh, this might come back. Just take it out, because
that's what I did yesterday. I saw
Yeah.
it and thought, we do have like the treatment for it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't like dosing things like that into my tank. I just feel
I don't
like
know what the treatments.
Do you mean like antibiotics?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So it's kind of like the same for you. Wouldn't take loads of antibiotics, would you? Like
100%,
we get
they're
told
wicked,
personally
yeah.
not to. So I don't like it for that reason. Putting antibiotics into my tank. But that I like corals, but I want easy ones. And I know you're looking out for a banana for me at the moment, aren't you? That's going to go into a different tank that we've got the
banana
brown in the moment.
A banana torch.
Oh, really?
I just want a yellow one. I've never had a yellow one, so I've got loads of different coloured torches, all the purples, green. I've had a green one, blue, like all of them different tipped ones. I want a yellow one. Yeah, that's what I want.
It's not easy to find.
No, I know. It's just as I've learned from you.
Yeah, there's one of my suppliers I think can get it, but some of the more regular ones they just don't get them in for whatever reason.
They don't get them in, yeah.
My only other question, and I think, is to see if it basically I wanted to ask if what's the most common misconception about you?
About me?
Yeah, like what's the thing that comes up the most regularly? I find it fascinating because, like, so I put a video out of the game recently, and it's now had 500,000 views, and I am not used to having that much attention. So if you're regularly getting that, you must it actually did my head in for the day that every minute a new message was coming in, message constantly.
Did you notice the flex there, by the way? Because
no, I'm not flexing.
I've just made 500,000 views. I don't know.
No. Look, firstly, Amy probably has done this many more times, and
that's a bad Tuesday for Amy.
The video went up and nothing happened at all. For
and then suddenly
for 2 days or something, I was like, "Oh, this didn't do very well." And then it just went, and it was literally every single minute a message was coming in from someone, and I read all of them. And I don't know. I thought you must not have time to do this all day.
No, I used to when I first started. I really used to try and monitor my comments. Now I don't have the time because I post onto TikTok, which was my main one, but then now obviously I then post it onto Instagram, which then gets posted onto Facebook. I can't be checking 3 different comment sections.
No, I know.
You know what I mean?
I know.
I will occasionally go in and just scroll to make sure there's no arguments going on or anything like that, and try and nip it in the bud, or I'll find you, because we spoke about this, didn't we? You said that you find people are arguing.
Yeah, they argue with each other. It doesn't happen on YouTube so much. They literally they're out for war, some of these people.
Yeah. And I'm very much I will comment, if I see a fight going on, I'll comment and be like, calm it down, guys, it's life, it's not that serious.
I'm like this,
but
actually I think he was right.
If it gets to the point where it's getting nasty, I just block. I delete the comment and I block them. I'm like, I'm not having it.
So
I work in a school, so it's that kind of no.
Going back to the original question, are there some misconceptions that regularly come up?
Yes, mainly when I post a video and it goes viral and people assume that I'm just a crazy person that puts my hand in a mantis shrimp tank without any kind of experience or knowing the creature. I'm just going into a random place and that I don't know what they're capable of.
They're not your followers, they're just random people.
So people think people think that you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah. So that is probably the most common misconception, is that I don't have the experience I should have to be doing weird things and crazy things.
There you go.
Yeah.
That is all of my questions.
That's all of the
So-
questions.
Yeah.
We
Alex
didn't
sent me a
even get
message
to
at
do-
the beginning saying, I need you to work something out. So I was like, okay.
Oh, I thought you'd prep that in advance.
I had done, yeah. Well, I had it planned in advance. It was just
He
live.
went on AI really and went, what questions
Yeah.
should I ask?
What can I ask Amy?
Yeah.
And it went, who's Amy? I'm just joking.
Oh,
Probably did. Would it?
We didn't even get to do the Prestige Reef fish. Well,
Oh,
we're going to do the
that's true, I
Prestige Reef
forgot
fish
about
of the week because there's no coral of the week, but there's a fish of the week.
Oh, there you go. Well, the fish of the week this week is I've gone for a Hawaiian cleaner-ass because I thought it was one of those fish that people don't usually. I wanted to pick a fish that Amy might want, and I thought it was one of those
I
fish.
love that.
Yeah.
That is, oh my gosh, it kind of looks like a clingfish in a way.
The
Shape of it.
There's a few different types of cleaner-ass, all like different colors. This is the Hawaiian one. You don't see them. Obviously, they come from Hawaii, so we don't get them anymore.
Yeah.
But they don't
Just
have a
look
great
where this
survival
one's nibbling and look at the parrotfish's face.
rate. Yeah, it's true. Why am I not surprised that you saw that?
The wrasse is the jellyfish, and the parrotfish is Ryan.
Yeah, the other reason I picked this is because they are one of the few animals on the whole world that can identify itself in a mirror. And how they work that out, I don't know. I know what
Is
they did.
that
Apparently,
like a Barney Dillashaw thing.
no, that's they have done tests. There's like dolphins can do it, gorillas and monkeys and us, but cleaner-ass for some reason supposedly I'm sure there's a video out there. They put like a dot on it. And I don't know how the fish tells.
You
that
see
it
this
has a
on
dot.
Sesame Street or something because that sounds like bollocks.
No.
Okay.
Google it. Not
Okay.
now, or you can Google it now if you want to. But I promise
Alright.
you, they supposedly can identify themselves. It might
There you
the
go.
scientists might be making it up, but I promise you that is.
Did
the
you
fact.
say we can't get them anymore? 'Cause they're
You can
white.
get cleaner-ass, but I don't think you can get that type of cleaner-ass because that's from Hawaii.
'Cause
Would you
I
like to do
really,
the
really
responsibility
like
thing?
cleaner
Because
wrasse.
you're not supposed to have cleaner wrasse, are you, Ryan?
Oh, that's the other thing. Yeah, so they are a bad idea. So don't get one, Amy. Now that you've seen one and said I want one,
I wouldn't get one anyway because of my boxfish, because they can pester, can't they? And
they
the
annoy
box
basically
wrasse.
everything else in
Yeah.
the tank, whether it's tangs or boxfish.
I
particularly
don't feel
puffer.
like I have got a fish big enough
Yeah.
or enough fish that are big enough to keep a cleaner wrasse happy, really.
And the other thing is there's usually very few of them on each reef. There's usually a couple. I think it's normally a pair. And divers go and collect them, and the fish get cleaned by them. And obviously, all of a sudden, they don't have.
They don't have
cleaning.
anything taking these parasites off
Yeah.
them.
They actually don't eat parasites. That is a common misconception. Things like white spot is actually like.
Oh no, I know
embedded
they
to
don't, because
the-
white
oh,
spot's
okay.
underneath. Yeah, so I know that.
Yeah, they do eat some things, of course, and
Yeah.
scales and slime, and they probably do eat some parasites, but they don't eat. People often buy them for white spot, and they don't do that.
No,
If it's
I was
the
thinking
one
more like
fish-
a tick or a flea of
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
fish world. They would
Exactly.
peck them off.
But it's the one fish. It's often said of fish in our hobby that it's dangerous and it's harmful to the reef to take all these fish out. It's actually
Yeah.
not true for almost all fish.
Yeah.
But this is the one fish that it's like actually that
But
does
it
do.
is.
There's small, even small collection numbers actually does do harm.
Oh, okay, then that's good to know.
Yeah, and they also the more common blue ones have a higher survival rate, but these ones have a really, really low survival rate. So sometimes it's like a public service announcement to tell these fish of the weeks to tell people don't to get something. But I actively thought I really wanted to try and think of one. I didn't want to just do like a tang. I thought, what's a weird fish that Amy will probably like?
No, I love that. I've
So
never heard of
I have
them.
achieved my goal.
Okay.
There you go.
Well, in which case, I think, Amy, is there anything else that you've just been sitting on? You're like, I need to talk about this.
No, I don't think so.
Right,
No,
well,
I just came
okay.
into here just ready for a chat, really. I didn't really think of anything.
Fine, okay. Ryan, and you don't have anything else you wanted to ask or anything?
No, I feel like I've done plenty of talking.
Happy days. All right. Well, Amy, it's been an absolute pleasure, same as last time, and really enjoyed it. So thank you very much for coming on.
No, thank you for having me. It's been lovely. I love coming on.
And Ryan was here too. So right.
Yeah.
Right.
If anything, it was actually the other way around. Alex was here.
I know. I was
Yeah,
just- I
yeah,
was-
we did
I was
do a
the
lot of
admin.
chatting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically. Anyway, cheers for watching, guys. We'll see you next week.
See you later.
Okay.
Bye.